So the next time you get the urge to masturbate to internet pornography, you should immediately go to a Chick-fil-A and tell them, "I'm not coming tonight." You'll receive one of our delicious free sandwiches and a Diet Coke. Chick-fil-A, come on down and have a chicken sandwich. And don't get gay married. Good day to you, my sweet internet friends, and welcome to the Duncan Trussell Family Hour. The Duncan Trussell Family Hour is sponsored by Sure Design T-shirts, an incredible t-shirt company in Thailand that weaves the softest t-shirts known to man. Many of you know that there's nothing softer than the last breath of a grandmother, and Sure Design T-shirts has high-tech collection units in the emergency rooms of geriatric clinics and hospitals all around the world, just waiting to catch that last exhalation emerging from the mouths of mimas and nanas all around the world. This breath is contained in a special container and shipped to Sure Design T-shirts, where it's mixed together with the fear screams of partridges, and this creates the soft fabric that is known as a Sure Design T-shirt shirt. Most other t-shirt manufacturers use a toxic combination of IQ-degenerating fluoride and the tears of Justin Bieber fanatics, all mixed together with the runoff from Burning Man porta-johns. Not only do these shirts have a negative effect on your skin, they'll bring up boils, welts, and festering sores filled with stingered maggots, but they also have a negative effect on the consciousness of the wearer, and many people who wear some of the more popular brands of American-made t-shirts begin to get confused and start thinking that their careers can actually make them happy, or that material items are more important than the people around them. This leads to a state of insanity that can sometimes cause world wars to spring up. So don't wear those ridiculous shirts. Order a Sure Design t-shirt today. Go to SureDesignT-shirts.com. Buy one of these incredible shirts. Their designs are amazing. Their designs are extracted from the happy dreams of children all over America. They send these flying teddy bear creatures with flaming eyes and sharp barbed tails, and right as the kids are having this fantastic dream, the teddy bears suck the dream out of their ears and replace the dream with Metallica videos. They fly the dreams back to the Sure Design T-shirt company, and they put them on the shirts. Don't believe me? Go to SureDesignT-shirts.com and order one of these incredible shirts. You'll get 10% off if you put my name in when you buy the shirts. So go do it. Also, the Duncan Trussell Family Hour is sponsored by Audible.com. Audible, keeping me on the treadmill longer than I normally ever would stay on the treadmill. It's the only thing that gets me to do aerobic exercise, because I only allow myself to listen to the Dark Tower series when I'm running on the treadmill. This is why it's going to take 400 years for me to finish the entire series, but it doesn't matter because the series is narrated by a brilliant voice actor, and they've got a million amazing books there. Go check them out. If you go to audibletrial.com/family hour, you will get a free audiobook if you sign up for a trial membership, which you can cancel at any time. So go there. I get $15 if you do that, and that's pretty nice too. And of course, at DuncanTrussell.com, we have a shop filled with super cool t-shirts made by the geniuses at Sure Design T-shirts, so they're super fucking soft. And we also have posters. We have new posters, which are going to be coming next week, so check out the shop if you want a cool way to support this podcast. And for all of you who have donated to the podcast and blasted me with your green energy, thank you so much for keeping this thing going. And it's paying off. We just got into Variety magazine. Newsflash, the Duncan Trussell Family Hour actually got mentioned in one of the most famous Hollywood trade magazines. Go to DuncanTrussell.com to the comment section of this podcast, and I'll have a link up. So go check that out. My apologies for getting the podcast out late this week, but I think the wait was worth it, because today's guest is the funniest human being on the planet, one of my best friends. Everybody, please welcome to the Duncan Trussell Family Hour for the second time, Joey Coco Diaz, a.k.a. Mad Flava. We are here with potentially, scientifically, you could prove this, the coolest motherfucker on planet Earth, mad flavor, Joey Coco Diaz.
What's up, Duncan Trussell?
Scientists need to be studying this shit. Why are you people in your fucking particle accelerators trying to find the God particle when Joey Diaz is right here?
Right here with you. Right here fucking around.
I've got the God particle embodied on this podcast. One of my best friends on the entire planet. What's up?
Great to see you, brother.
Good to see you too,
Thank
man.
you for having me on. Always a pleasure to be on.
Oh, are you kidding? It's the greatest ever. I'm so happy. Joey and I hang out. He's one of my best friends, and it's like we go and have we get breakfast from time to time. And every time I have breakfast with you, I walk away, and like for a week, I feel so much better, man. It's like really shows how important it is to have like really good friends in your life.
Well, we're out here in L.A., and we don't sit down at 6 o'clock, okay?
Right.
We were all raised as sitting down at 6 o'clock, putting your differences aside and just eating.
Yes.
And talking, so we don't have that. And I'm a firm believer in meeting with my friends once a week away from the bullshit.
Yeah.
We could have gone to a restaurant in Hollywood and sat outside and bumped into other actors. Hey, I have an audition, oh my God. But we went to Mimi's, which is an out-of-the-way place, and it's just two guys talking.
Yeah, but I feel like I got to start bringing like a notebook, man, because what you do is
what you do, like
you
I said to you.
throw out such brilliant shit that
Duncan,
like
please.
really helps me. Like I feel like some like sloppy young wannabe Shaolin monk who gets to every once in a while sit down with like a fucking kung fu master.
It's an honor. No. I get as much from you as we get from each other. It's very. I could talk to you. A lot of times we have topics and you run them by somebody and they don't really know what the fuck you're talking about. With you, I could run something by you that seems crazy even to me, and you'll find a way to level that thought.
And also, dude, the thing, there's like the philosophical aspect of it too, but you've got a side to you, man, that's like, there's the side to you that's like fucking mad flavor, Susquehanna weed. There's that side, but then there's this fucking serious, brilliant actor side of you too, where you like give me tips about the industry and acting and how to like real shit, man, that like you don't pick up from. I don't think you get some of this stuff from like acting classes and stuff. It's just like there's like you really have figured out how to navigate the environment, the business environment, the industry in a really smart way, because you got a work ethic, man.
Well, the work ethic is basically, you have to incorporate different things in. My roots are being outside and making things happen.
Yeah.
Waking up in the morning with $2 in your pocket and knowing you got to get a gram of blow, knowing you want to fuck that chick at the bar,
yes,
and knowing that you're minus 100 with the bookie, and you have to make it happen. So what do you do to make it happen as quick as you can? My buddy says he's got 100 Quaaludes, he's got 100 hits of Molly, whatever. And when you come out here, you learn to do things a certain way, but it takes away from your natural instincts.
Right.
What you do naturally. How do you do things? What's worked for you for 20 fucking years?
Right.
Why are you going away from it? That's what I add to that. I try to put pieces of my life. How would you do this? This is comedy. And when we first got into it, oh my God, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
We're going this weekend to Paducah, Alabama to do comedy or whatever the fuck. But then comes a day you learn the business side of it. It's an ugly fucking reality.
Right.
We guys like you and me hate it.
Yeah.
We hate dealing with people about money and what
Yep.
am I going to pay me? I just want to crack jokes, get a drink,
Yeah.
smoke a joint, and go the fuck home. But there's more to this, like everything else in life.
That's it.
And we've been doing it for a while.
Yep.
And you look around, and we pay attention to other comedians, and you look at their careers, you look at your careers, and then you add your life into this and what works for you and what doesn't, and that's where we hit it off.
That's it, man, for sure. But it's something because it's not like take I'll tell you, here's an interesting group of people, man, and you're in that group. Hunter S. Thompson, Charles Bukowski, Mad Flavor. What do they all have in common? Aside from being like brilliant fucking artists, they all have a fucking hardcore work ethic. And I don't think that a lot of people get that, because like you hear these like amazing stories. You read Hunter S. Thompson, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, or you hear Charles Bukowski talking about his crazy like adventures out in the fucking world of being a fucking insane gutter drunk. And but both of them, they're fucking. Bukowski was like working like 12-hour shifts at the fucking post office and coming home and writing. Hunter S. Thompson was not like sitting on his ass just fucking getting like blasted on acid and like, wandering the world, man. That guy was spending serious energy refining his art and writing and working on it and stuff. And like people, I think when you read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, you just think, oh, all that you need to be a great writer like Hunter S. Thompson is 100 hits of acid, a vial full of blow, a crazy fucking friend, and boom, you're going to be a great writer. And they miss the whole thing that's underneath all that, which is the hard fucking work, the work ethic, man. That's the most important thing. And you've got that. And that's something that like really inspires me. You get up at like, what do you get up at?
5.
You get up at 5 a.m. every fucking morning.
5 a.m. Sometimes later than that. So, it's something that my mother instilled in me. And work ethic is not work when you're enjoying what you're doing.
Right.
So think of those great writers you spoke of. Those guys, for them, sitting down and writing was a whole way of life. There was a drink, a few cigarettes, a bump, coffee. They knew their place, and they put their life into their writing, which is really fucking important. For them, it's not work. What work are you talking about? I love doing this.
Right.
It's my therapy.
Right.
That's how it was. I got the honor to not meet, but sit in the same room with that Hunter S. Thompson guy.
No way.
When in the Woody Creek Tavern in Woody Creek, Colorado, there was a bar. I used to go down there to get Coke every once in a while during the week. Yeah. And they had the best nachos in the world because they put chorizo in it. And I would go down there, and it was really weird. Woody Creek at the time was where all these Don Henley lived and all these weird people from Hollywood. But they had this clique. And when Bill Murray was studying to play Hunter S. Thompson, I just happened to walk in one night.
Wow.
And here's Bill Murray and Hunter S. at the bar, and they were talking. And I would keep tabs on Hunter S. from the locals.
Right.
They would tell me different stories. So it was very weird to see him. Saw him. But these things you say, the work ethic, it's not work. Yeah. It's not work for people like me. We enjoy doing it. I enjoy writing and letting people know what's going on in your world. And
but it's still, man, even if you enjoy it, and I don't like the word work
itself.
It's a fucking, the word work sucks. That's when you think of the word work,
sucks.
You're thinking of fucking like, when I think of work, I think of like when my dad was trying to like turn me into a man in the summers at Alabama, and he'd always make me do construction work. So he'd like intentionally put me in the shittiest fucking job he could find at his like his fucking company. So like, one summer I spent it like having to clear fucking weeds in Alabama with a goddamn like using like 18th century equipment, shit that like
just whacking shit like
whacking shit, getting blisters on your hand, working with fucking just the freakiest people, man. Like I remember there was this like old man. I had to work with this old man all fucking summer, and down in this fucking shitty warehouse, like cutting weeds and shit. And I can remember like at one point, he's like, "Hey, come over here, Duncan. Come over here. Put your ear near my mouth." And he opened up his mouth, and I put my ear near his mouth, and it's like you could hear this tick 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 tick. And he's like, "That's my pacemaker. Sounds like a little bird in there, doesn't it?"
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
my God.
That's what I think of when I think of work. But still, man, it's like whatever you want to call what we do, it's still discipline, which is like getting yourself on a schedule, making yourself wake up at a certain time, and fucking, doing what needs to get done. And I think it would be a real easy thing to, see from an outsider's perspective, to look and just think like, we're just like floating around and like that's not happening. But maybe I shouldn't be giving away the magic trick. I don't know. Maybe like maybe it's good for people to think that. But there's some discipline involved. If you want to get shit done, you've got to discipline yourself.
Listen, you could party, you could snort blow, you could eat pussy, you could do all the fucking things that bring you. But at the end of the day, you got to get down.
Yeah.
And what happened with me was I had a parent die at 16, and I was forced. I was spoiled. I was a spoiled kid. I was a prince. I was a Cuban prince. Give him what he wants.
Right.
Then that was taken away from me. So, you ever go to lunch with people and they're like, I don't know what I feel like eating. Oh, my God, let's try that place. Have you ever eaten there before? No. Then why the fuck are we going there?
Right.
Let's go to the Chinese place. It's $5 and it's a special and it's great. Why are we experimenting?
Right.
I learned to cover my ass as a young kid. Great. You want to party and go see Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and do a hit of acid? That's great. But you got to get up at 7 and fucking pay your bills.
Yes.
So always remember that you can do whatever the fuck you want in life, but you have to be accountable. And then I heard these words, justifying your existence. Those words to me linger. I heard that in 1987, and it's every day I hear that as I'm putting my shoes on. You have to justify your existence on a daily basis. You don't have a job? Go out and mow lawn. You get the energy from the fucking world. You put energy out there that you're working. You want to work. Yeah. But you sitting on a couch looking for a job, it ain't going to fucking happen.
That's it.
I don't like house guests because you get up at 7, they're sleeping. You leave, come back at 10, and they're on your couch watching television.
Right.
In my house, you got to get the fuck up, fold your blankets,
Yeah.
and let's go to work. I know you got high last night till 6. Guess what? So did I.
Yeah.
Okay? When I was doing the longest yard, I was snorting coke till 4, and my call was at 4:45.
Right.
When I get there, they go, you have to shoot today. Fuck, I don't want to shoot. You snorted blow. Now you got to deal with it, motherfucker.
That's it.
A lot of people don't want to claim responsibility in their life. They want to party, and I don't feel like it. No matter, you could do whatever the fuck you want. I'm free. I'm an American. I can do whatever I want. That's fine, dandy. But you have to justify your existence every morning to the universe.
Right.
Not to yourself, not to the employer, anything. And that's where we go back to picking up a piece of paper. You have to justify it.
Yes.
And that's how I was raised, and I think it's a very good work ethic.
Yeah.
You have to wake up and say hello to the morning. It's a beautiful fucking day out there. You're going to be sleeping. You live in L.A.
Yeah.
We live in California. You ever fucking find yourself at 1 in the afternoon, you've been on Facebook for 20 minutes?
Yes.
And you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
I don't live in Boston, and it's not 10 below zero. Why am I inside?
Oh, I know.
These are the things that...
No, man. You can't, and, man, I'm fucking so guilty. This is why I say it's good to have friends like you, man, because it's inspiring, because I'm fucking, I'm guilty of, waking up in the morning. It's 8 a.m. and then I'm like, man, I don't feel like getting up. I was up really late. I'm going to fucking sleep till 9, and then 9 rolls around. All of a sudden you're looking at your phone in bed, and then suddenly it's 9:30. By the time you get up, it's 10 a.m. You feel like the biggest asshole on planet Earth, man. And you've basically set up this pattern for the rest of your day. The rest of the day, is now going to lack harmony. It's going to, the rest of the day will follow the pattern that you started in the morning. It seems like that's the most important fucking thing. It's that's like when you're shooting pool, I guess. Your morning, that's when you're breaking the fucking balls, And if you do a shitty break, you're going to have a terrible pool game for the rest of the day. You're going to have a weird fucking day, which is why you can't listen to how you feel. If you do what you feel like doing,
you never do anything.
Yeah.
Because we're installed with fear. Fear fucking guides us. And fear is what guides a lot of Americans. Oh, there's an obesity problem. They're scared. They don't know what could happen.
Right.
They don't know where to fucking start, Yeah. What do you think? You're the only one that was blessed by it. There's 1 million people that like to be a comedian.
Right.
They don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Fear will overtake us, like that book by Stephen Pressman, Art of War, War of Art. Really mediocre book, but he breaks down fear. You want to be a writer? How many books do you have on writing over there? What do you need all those books on writing? Write, bitch.
Yes.
Write, bitch.
Yes.
What's all these books on writing? We will throw so many curveballs at ourselves as human beings.
Yes.
We will throw every fucking obstacle at ourselves. You were talking to me about an acting class before.
Yep.
We were discussing an acting class, a specific teacher, and they have these teachers in town that take you and teach you how to act. I did a movie with, I don't want to sound like these fucking momos. I was very fortunate to work with one of my idols, James Coburn. Wow. And he asked me, are you in acting class? And I was all happy. I'm like, yeah. Yes, I go every week, sir. And he's like, quit. He's like, you got natural instincts. Don't ever ruin your instincts.
Right.
Don't ever ruin. They're going to ruin your instincts. I could
Right.
tell already you're a natural or whatever. And I was saying how you join these schools in L.A. and some of them will say to you, "You're not ready."
Right.
And there's kids that walk around. They call home and go, "I'm not ready, but I'm doing a scene from Shakespeare in acting class
Right.
next week." People like me were raised that you're always ready. You're ready when you want to be ready.
Right.
You have to not look and get the fuck in there. That's what comedy is. First 10 times you go on stage, you don't even think about going on stage. It's when you get home that you realize what you did. It's like you come home, you're like, "I can't believe I sucked 8 dicks tonight." Same
Right.
thing goes for comedy because we can't believe that I did that because
Right.
for years we're scared. And it all starts with the couch and the bed and all these deterrents.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. I don't like fucking needles. There's people that like going to the doctor. The same thing with people who can't get up in the morning.
Right.
There's night people
Yes.
and there's day people.
Sure.
I theoretically, through my genes, I'm a night person.
Right.
I'm supposed to be up till 5 through who I am. Who I want to be, I got to be up at 7.
Right.
Because I know that by 10 o'clock, I won't be me. I know that I'm missing something. I'm fucking missing something.
Yeah.
God forbid in the morning I miss something because I was sleeping. If I'm eating pussy, that's one fucking thing.
Right.
If I'm riding in a bunker, that's one thing. But God forbid, you ever miss something because you're sleeping? Hey,
Yes.
we went. Fuck, I was sleeping. So that's where I come from. There's days I'm exhausted. I go to bed at 3. We're comedians.
Yep.
We get home at 1. We had a good set. We smoke a joint. We eat a half a Vicodin.
Yep.
Law and Order's on. The other night, The Blob was on with Steve McQueen. It's 4 in the morning, but guess what? I got to get up at 7. You should have thought about that when you were watching The Blob,
Yeah.
cocksucker. So, and I try to lay down, and there's so much on my mind.
Same
I
here.
think of falling behind in people because the only person we have to blame in our lives is us.
That's right.
That's it. At the end of the day, you didn't do it.
Yep. That's it, man. And it's what you're talking about works for everything. It's not just fucking comedy. It's not just writing. What you're talking about, that idea, I love this idea because it's an idea that like drives people fucking crazy, which is in Zen. It's this idea where it's like, no, your hard work is not your fucking your idea of like all the rituals and all the things you have to do to attain the state of enlightenment. That's not what's going to do it. It's just you do it. You take the leap. You take the fucking jump. You dive into the abyss, and then everything else works itself out. And it's like what you're talking about with acting is really cool, man, and with comedy. And it's that decision that you make where you just the thing clicks in your mind and you make the decision. I'm a comedian. I'm an actor. This is it. I'm doing it. All the bullshit, all the fear, all the nonsense, all the obstacles that I put in front of it, I'm just going for it. I love that, man, because goddamn, especially with acting, like that's something where I always like try to create all these things between me and acting, you know, between me and being an actor. I always come up with all these reasons why no, that's you're a comedian, it can't work, but that's bullshit.
You're an actor. You're in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Opportunities are going to come up. You have to be prepared.
Right.
You have to be prepared for your trade, and you have to be prepared by who you are. You made a great point. When we talk here, please don't generalize this to acting or stand-up. This applies to anything. You want to be a plumber. You want to be a writer.
Yeah.
You want to paint pictures. You want to do this. We throw these obstacles at ourselves. I learned something so interesting at 49 in New York City. With all the weed I smoke and all the ass I did. At 49, we went to New York together in May. And I went to my room, and I wanted to smoke some reefer, and I had a little balcony.
Yeah.
And the first night I went outside, I got on the balcony and made some crickety noises, and I looked down, and my heart stopped. I had to get on the ledge. I had to turn the joint off, and I went inside, and I was fucking, it took me an hour to fall asleep. The next night I went out there, and I didn't look down. And I smoked the whole joint, and I sat out there for an hour just thinking. I didn't look into what I was doing. I just did it.
Yeah.
And I learned that night about a piece of life that you think you know.
Right.
I looked. Sometimes thinking is the worst thing for us as a
Right.
man. It'll destroy us.
Yep.
It destroyed me last week, and I'm still guilty of it every 6 to 8 weeks. You think about something,
Yeah.
and your mind goes fucking bananas, and
Yep.
it's like a computer that you have to stop and delete that whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
The same fucking thing happens. You know, every 6 to 8 weeks we have a short
Sure.
because we're human.
That's right. Yeah, it's you definitely. You're gonna get fucking
But
distracted.
don't
and,
look at nothing. When you want to do something, grab your balls and fucking do it.
Yeah.
We all think we have to know this knowledge to do everything. Just the desire to do it, the pieces will fall into place.
When I was a long time ago, I used to work at this summer camp, and I worked there for many years. This incredible summer camp in North Carolina called Camp Pendleton. And the guy at the time, the guy who was running the camp, Glenn Gray, he called me up, and he's like, hey, I want you to, we're putting a ropes course into this fucking summer camp. And a ropes course is like, you know, it's like these like weird obstacles that are way off the ground up in these trees. They built it really, really high up in these trees where you have to like walk across ropes and do all this stuff that's like, you're tied in, but it's still fucking scary, man. And at that time, I was terrified of heights. And I told him, like, I can't be up in the trees all summer because I'm really scared of heights. And he's like, no, you're going to do it. You come down, you're going to do the job. And like, I can remember something clicked. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking do this. And I climbed up into the trees. And then like, within 2 weeks, I was just totally at peace being super high off the ground where if you fall, you're fucked. But it all went away. And I can remember like being strapped in by the ropes and like you could lay back on this fucking rope up in the trees and the wind would blow the trees and you could kind of feel the forest breathing. And it was like, wow, man, fear was keeping me away from this beautiful experience. Fear, I was trading this experience for the experience of fear. And I'll never forget that, man. I never would have had that if I hadn't if I'd spent any time thinking about it. If I'd spent any time thinking about all the things that could go wrong up there, I never would have done it. I just had to climb up eventually and just go for it.
Fear is something in our mind, and it hurts us and it helps us. For me, I love it. I love being fit. I love being scared of going on stage.
Yes.
At 20 years, I love getting there. I love fear of doing certain things. I know that my mind and my body is going to fucking explode, you know. Right now, I'm going through one of the biggest fears of my life, and I have to think about it for the next 6 months. My wife is having a child.
Congratulations, by the way.
Fuck all that shit. When I had a child 20 years ago when I was young, into drugs and out of prison and all this shit, and it was so weird that it didn't work out for me. And for years, I had built this fear around kids. I did everything I could to not get anybody pregnant. I mean, I have girlfriends now that have 10 fucking kids. If you look at them, you could rub your hands with cum, and an hour later they'll get pregnant if you rub their back. That's how fertile he's been. They're like testosterone-based bitches, you know? And I never got nobody pregnant. Now my wife comes to me and she says, I'm pregnant. I got to tell you something, Duncan. My heart stopped. Yeah. At 50, I always knew somebody was going to knock on my door. I always felt that life was going to pay me a visit, a karma visit. Either for something I did at 50, you got to go do 6 years in jail or something. Right. I never in my life imagined there was going to be another child. And it's a fear that I have. I love children. They don't bother me at all. I'll raise your child for you. My own is a big fear because it turns a human being into something else. Now you're vulnerable. Right. I never liked that feeling. I never liked that feeling that it's not just me. Me, I'll do anything. I'll jump in the fucking water. I'll stab you. I got to think of somebody else now.
Yep.
And it makes you so much more vulnerable to people. You have to either take more shit or whatever. I failed as a father the first time. I felt I failed. What I had done was, I spoke about it last night on stage, that I got to the point where I wanted to kill them for what they had done to me out of, taking my child from me. Right. And I wasn't the best father, but at the same time, I cared about the child, and I did everything I could to provide for her and everything. And these people kept knocking me off my horse because they wanted me out of the child's life. And finally, they convinced the child. They had more time and whatever. She became their child. But I left for the simple reason that I didn't want the child to grow up like I grew up. There was too much drama going on at the time. I was watching, I smacked her father one time, the stepfather, and I seen my little girl crying. And that's how I grew up. And I didn't want that for her. Right. So I said, the way I could beat these people is not by walking away. Because they figured Joey's going to leave in 95. He's never going to come back. He'll OD. Is by me staying alive and being the best comedian I could be. Because I wanted her to know that time away from her, I didn't waste my fucking time. Right. I did blow and shit, but I was also in pain. But I also improved. So I didn't want her to think that it was love. You ever eat at somebody's house, they're very nice to you. and you don't talk to them ever again, and you think about that person because of their kindness.
Yeah.
And maybe they fed you in like a weird city when you were on
Sure.
the road, and it's so weird how you always remember that because
That's right,
they
yeah.
peddled happiness into your life. They took care of you for that 1 minute. I never forget those things.
Yep.
I never really forget those things, you know, and this fear is killing me. And I finally came to terms after, 14 weeks of my wife being pregnant. I have to do the same. You know, my dad died when I was 3 of a fake heart attack. The papers said he was a heart attack, but it was a heroin thing.
Right.
And after he died, people would always pull me aside and go, we don't know what you heard or whatever. But one thing I will tell you is that motherfucker loved you.
Yes.
Like, he was very fond of you. When my mother died, the mortuary came over, the guy, and he goes, I can't charge you for burying your mom, because when I first came from Cuba, your dad bought Christmas presents for my kids, and he really loved you. And I started thinking about him, and my wife told me this. Like, I was having these fucking doubts in my head. We were going to break up. I'm not going to be a good father. And I thought about what I had to do. There's nothing I could do. I can't rip the kid out of her. I can't take the sperm and put it back in my dick. There's nothing I could do.
Yeah.
I have to move ahead.
Yes.
So I have to be the best father I can be.
Right.
And I'm scared of being a father.
Yeah.
I'm petrified of it, bro. That's a lot of fucking
sure.
responsibility.
I would be too.
The last thing I wanted to do was bring a child into this world today.
Yeah.
With all the shit that's going on and movie theaters and wars and,
Right.
we don't know where we're going to be in 10 years. We don't know if a bus is going to come pick your children up and take them away like fucking Suri. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 years. I never wanted to bring a child it would be a lot of pain for me.
Yeah.
But now I have a chance to be me.
Yeah.
And I have a chance to give a child the wisdom or the knowledge or the things I've gained in 49 years on this beautiful fucking planet. So I'm not scared anymore. I'm looking forward to it, and I just became Joey Diaz again. For a couple of weeks, I wasn't Joey Diaz. I'm back now.
Yeah, you solved the equation. You
Yes.
solved the fucking
Absolutely.
equation. You worked it
Absolutely.
out. And that thing when your mind is processing the equation, because that's what happens. These events, things will come into your life that are very, very powerful. And this is in Eastern philosophies, this is what, everyone's always looking for their guru. Everybody's looking for the guy in the fucking robe, or the guy who's got a halo, or the guy who's glowing, or an angel to fly down or something. But the real way the universe comes and talks to you is in events like what you're describing. These events that are so potent and so powerful that there's no way out. You have to deal with it. And they're the greatest teachers there are, man. There are a person could come and sit with you and talk to you about the idea that at some point you have to give more than you ever thought you could give, even if you didn't want to give it. Somebody could say, that's what's going to turn you into a real human being. That's what's going to really bring you to the next level of consciousness. Someone could sit down and say, that's what you need to do. And it's like, what are you fucking talking about? But when the child comes, that's God, the universe, the force of love coming and saying, this is it, man. Here's the real lesson. Here's the real teaching. In your whole life, this is the big class, man. This is the big class that's come to you. Because your last daughter, you were in a different place. That's a different person, man. You were in a different place. Things have changed since then. You've worked fucking hard. You've become a brilliant stand-up comic, a great fucking actor. And, man, people fucking love you. You're a different person now. As far as I can tell, that child came to you at just the right time, because you have so much to give that kid now. Now, I'm speaking from the outside, and forgive me if I'm speaking out of place, man, because I can't imagine. I can only look at it from the outside. But to hear the conclusion that you've come to, it's obvious that this was meant to happen. You got a fucking telegram.
Yeah, no. It's a receipt.
You got a telegram.
I got a receipt. I had an answer to a receipt.
Yeah.
And it's really weird. You look at your life. I was talking to somebody the other day, and we're talking about money. How money complicates things sometimes. And I hate when somebody wants to get money.
Yeah.
Because they really don't know. When you talk to somebody like, I want to be a millionaire, you really don't know what comes with that.
Yeah.
And you really think that solves everything. It really fucking doesn't solve
nothing.
Dick in the big equation, And I'm fucking stoned. And but it's so weird how I want to be a father. I'm very happy for Terry, my wife. You know, I wanted to give her something. She
Yeah.
gave me a tremendous gift. She gave me a second chance. But the thing with my daughter was, it wasn't even, I didn't weigh my life as the comedy or the acting or accomplishments, something like that. I weighed my life on where I was as a character in my heart 20 years ago and where I am now. That's the most important growth we could have.
Right.
Everything else is fucking, all we take with us is our soul and our character at the end.
Yes.
And that's all people are going to remember us by, is our soul and our character. Yeah, he might have been a good stand-up, or he might have been this, but one thing is he really fucking loved me as a human being. That's
right.
the most a person could give you. This child, I've accepted because, fuck it, it's for my wife. It's the gift from me to her. Now I have to be a man.
Yeah.
I have to fucking step up to the pump and be a fucking man, which is what we got put on this planet to be at the end of the fucking day.
That's right.
You know, in my heart, yes, I was born to be a comic. I was born to do this. No, you were born to be a fucking man.
Yep.
Everything else is secondary. And the stronger man you are, the stronger every other facet of your life will be. Trust me when I'm telling you, it makes every other facet of your life. That fucking knowing that you're a man and adding that, and that energy in your life is really fucking what it is. And that's what I felt complete. I'm very happy now because I was missing that love from a child to me and me to them. And it may improve my comedy, it may ruin it, whatever, but it'll always build me as a man.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's not going to ruin your comedy.
No,
It's
I'm just
fucking,
talking shit
It's only
here
going to
with
help
you.
everything. But what you're talking, see, this is why I know I talk about this all the time. This is why I fucking love the Bhagavad Gita, which is this scripture that takes place on a battlefield, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and it's with this, and Kurukshetra means, there's a lot of translations for it, but it means sacred duty. So it takes place on the battlefield of sacred duty, on the place where a war has to be fought. There's no way to avoid the war. There's no peace. This is going to happen no matter what. The two armies, it's like, you know, in legend, it's the biggest war that ever happened in India. And these two fucking armies have gathered on this battlefield. They're facing each other. They're starting to blow their conch shells. And like, that's like when the shit's about to go down. And Arjuna, the great warrior, has Krishna as charioteer, and Krishna represents God or the universe or, you know, eternal wisdom, has him bring the chariot in between the two armies, and he checks out the army he's about to fight, and he says, I'm not going to do this. He says, I'm going to fucking, I'd rather go live in the forest and be a beggar than kill all these people. And this is like a lot of hippies get confused about the Bhagavad Gita because God's response isn't, oh yeah, go live in the forest and be a beggar. God's response is, no, you're a warrior. Your job is to fight. You have to fucking fight. You have to take up your weapons and you have to fight this battle. And so what you're going through and what every single person goes through from time to time in their life is where they find themselves at this moment of decision, sitting in between two great armies, whatever it is, sitting in the place of indecision and having to decide, what are you going to do? Are you going to fight? Or are you going to go and live in the fucking woods like a coward and eat fucking gruel and pretend that you've done some holy, wonderful thing and pretend that you're some brilliant, great person because you've gone off into the woods to be a pacifist, when the reality is you're ignoring the essence of what you really are. And what you really are is a warrior. And so, and we're not at war. It's not like you, but having a child and making that decision. No, I'm not going to fucking give up on this. I'm not going to abandon this. I'm not going to run away. I'm going to raise a child and give a child all the love that I have now and give this child a beautiful life and give my wife, you know, a child and give her a beautiful life because this is what she wanted. That's a warrior's decision. A lot of guys don't make that fucking decision. A lot of guys fucking turn tail and fucking run. Because there's a lot of single mothers out there with kids. Because a lot of guys are like, no, I'm free. I'm a free man. I'm going to go live off in the woods as a free man. I'm not going to fight this battle. I'm going to go be free. No. Don't act like you're doing some heroic thing. No. The heroic thing is to fucking fight. And raising a kid, I'm sure, is one of the greatest battles there is. I can't imagine, man. That's why I love the Bhagavad Gita, because it's the perfect fucking metaphor.
If you're going to talk to me about Hindus, I got to smoke more weed.
Do it.
You know, I love you to death.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, Duncan, it wasn't like that. And I got to tell you something. For me, I had a chance of being a man. What I thought of being a man was at an early age, and I failed. I went to prison. I did drugs.
Right.
I disrespected myself. I robbed. All the things I thought made somebody a man weren't. Having a child, I was very confused about it, but the bottom line, I failed. That's the fucking true result. And if you know anything about guys like me, is we hate to fail.
Right.
We hate to fail. You're not going to be good at everything. I know this.
Yes.
But you have to come out of there a little good, at least with a purple belt.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You
Sure.
get your blue belt, I'm out of here. I'm not good at this. But that's how it is to me right now. That's how I put it in my mind. I failed as a man 20 years ago. I got a great fucking second chance.
Yeah.
I got a great second chance. And second chances do happen.
Yep.
And now this is it. I got to go for it. You know, and all I could do now is be the best man I'm 50. What does a man live to? 74? You know, I don't want to die when the kid's 3. I got to look after everything now. It's really making me, you understand me? I got to take care of my health. I want to see the kid graduate high school.
Yes.
I can't be fucking around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it makes my life interesting. It raises the stakes at 50, where at 50 you're lowering the stakes.
Yeah.
At 50 in your life, you're lowering the stakes.
All right.
It's raising the stakes. This might give me an extra 10 years of life because of this whole thing. I love my wife. I'm in a great place. That's part of being a man, is loving your wife and the people around you. So I'm not even working on stand-up and all that shit. I'm trying to work to get prepared for when this child comes to this world, that I got 6 months to become a man again. Mm. That's what I have right now.
Yeah.
I have 6 months. It's great. I think about it every day. I know it's 6 months away. It's like that term paper. 6 months away.
Right.
But I still have to make little notes every day and check myself. And that's what that's why I have a big smile on my face, and that's why I came to see you today, cocksucker.
All right, let's cut to commercial. We're back. Fucking holy shit. We got deep. We always get deep, man.
You have to.
You have to.
Why fuck around?
We're talking, another thing we're talking about today before we start recording is this fucking theater shooter, man. This fucking Aurora Dunce, the theater shooter. And a lot of people are saying that, not a lot of people, but there's a group of people who really believe that this is some kind of conspiracy, that the CIA trained this guy. They believe that there's an idea, it comes from an authentic thing that the CIA did at one point, which creeps me out to no end. And it was kind of addressed a little bit in the movie Jacob's Ladder, but it was called Project Monarch, and it's when they were testing psychoactive drugs to see if they could use them as chemical weapons to fight wars. And so they were fucking around with all this bad shit, man. They had some fucking terrible chemists who were screwing around with all these different derivatives of psychedelics to try to come up with an aerosolized bomb that they could drop on the enemy that would make them hallucinate and unable to fight. And so they did all kinds of experiments. The CIA did all kinds of experiments. They wanted to find out if they could remove people's memories. They wanted to find out if they could reprogram people and make them do shit without them knowing it. Because the perfect killer is a killer who doesn't even know who they're working for. A perfect killer is someone who goes and does something and doesn't understand why they did it, and then they can't be like, no, I was in a CIA training program, and they fucking wanted me to kill a bunch of people in a theater so that the gun control laws would take our guns away. And the CIA really did, and perhaps they still do. They still did. They really did experiment with this shit. You could watch videos on YouTube of like troops being given LSD to see how they fight, and you can watch interviews with people. The CIA, I'm sure you knew this, but as a joke, after they bought LSD from Sandoz Laboratories from Hoffman, brought it back to the United States and started doing experiments with it, they were, as a joke, in the morning, they would put it in agents' coffees at the office. They'd put LSD into their coffee and just watch them freak out all day because they thought it was fucking funny. Nobody knew what it was at the time. It was just this weird drug that makes you act weird and see the walls breathe. And like, so Ken Kesey, there's a Netflix documentary called The Magic Bus. He was part of the CIA's when they were experimenting with LSD to see what it was. He went into one of their tests. Like, they're partially responsible for the 60s. Because in their experiments with LSD, they ended up fucking giving it to college kids, and the college kids are like, hell yes, let's do more of this. And that started like a lot of the 60s movement. That was an inadvertent reaction from what they did. So anyway, a lot of people think that this fucking idiot, the Joker, the Aurora Dunce, they think that this guy was somehow trained by the CIA to cause gun control laws to tighten up. And I could not disagree with these people more. I think it's the worst fucking example of conspiracy thinking going in the wrong direction, because a lot of the shit that they're using to back up their claims, $20,000 arsenal, the idea that only a trained person could have taken out these people, this shit is easily disprovable, man. I could take somebody with like palsy. I could take somebody with palsy in a wheelchair and put them in a fucking packed theater with an automatic weapon, and they're going to kill a bunch of people. It's really easy to fucking kill people with an automatic weapon.
I believe in crazy people, and I believe that fucking stupid people do bad things.
Yes.
But there's more that's got me intrigued, and there's two things that have me intrigued. A, the outfit he had and the precision that he used, and B, how he booby-trapped his apartment.
All right.
That's it. After that, there's also, it's fucking Colorado. I lived in Colorado for 14 years, and I tell people all the time, something about that place. I mean, weapons is a way of their life. They have a make my day law. This is not an issue about weapons. This is not an issue about weapons. Like you, I'm pro fucking guns.
Yep.
I don't want you to carry them and shoot picking people at the gas station.
Yep.
But when you have a family or no family, it's you by yourself and somebody's breaking into your house, you have the right to protect yourself.
100%.
At that matter.
Yes.
And your fucking wife,
Yep.
and your mother, and
Yep.
your grandmother.
Yep.
You don't want to go in this day and age, once the jobs getting a little tighter, and people go back to crime to
Yep.
fucking make a living, you're going to want a gun. Not
Yep.
to shoot people. You don't want to shoot people, but just to know that you have it.
You're right.
Now, bad things happen when there's guns around also. This situation with this kid is very sad. I got into guns when I moved to Colorado because it was so wide open there. It's just their society. You know, in the 80s, you didn't even need a fucking ID.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's just so many things. So that was my whole patois about this, that this kid just didn't go in there with a 45 and start blasting. Like you, I've shot automatic weapons. I know it's very easy.
Easy.
But something's not right.
Well,
and,
man,
and we'll never find out.
I'll tell you what it is, man. What's not right about it is a fucking lunatic dyed his hair orange and decided to blast a lot of people. And it's easier for us to think that the guy was trained by the CIA than it is to accept something that's far worse.
I'm not even talking about the CIA. I'm not even talking about the CIA.
I see.
You know, I'm talking about there's something not right here. It doesn't have to be the CIA. Something's not. I didn't like the faces he was making in court. Something's not right here.
Well, yeah.
It just does. I don't know what it is. I can't. If I knew what it was, I wouldn't be here. I'd be betting horses at the track.
We both don't have all the information,
No.
but I have to think that I've thought of a far darker thing here, and this is we started talking about this, but I want to talk about it on the podcast because maybe I'm wrong, and maybe people out there could send me in the right direction, but. Here's the basic conspiracy theory. The basic conspiracy theory is that the United States government does not want the population to be armed, and especially to be armed with weapons that could stand up against the military should martial law be enacted and the Constitution be suspended because of the grand conspiracy that many people think, which is a really spooky story. The theory is that at some point that everything that's happening from September 11th up until now are like little phases in this operation they're trying to do, which ultimately results in a shitload of people being hauled away to re-education camps, and the United States falling into a kind of martial law. And so part of getting to that place, according to this conspiracy theory, is getting the weapons away from the people so that they can't fight back. Now, this is the main issue that I think is let's imagine, I don't believe that conspiracy theory, by the way, but let's imagine that it was true. Let's imagine it were true. I don't fucking believe that goddamn the weapons that are available to people right now are going to stand up against the military in any way. If the Marines decide to come in, the Marines who've been trained for fucking years come in with the high-tech weapons they have, the sonic weapons that they're developing, the fucking crazy sticky shit. Have you seen that shit they have? It's like sticky shit they can launch into crowds and stick people together. The super powerful fucking lubricants that they can shoot on the ground that make it impossible to stand up. Fucking quadricopters armed with weapons. How the fuck is any militia's arsenal going to stand up against the might of the most powerful fucking military on the planet? That's what I don't understand. So I don't know that the government really, I don't think in their calculations, according to that myth, that they'd be like, yeah, let's get the fucking automatic weapons away from the militias. Because they're like, no, we've already got chemical weapons. We've already got psychoactive weapons. We have control of their phone lines. We have control of the traffic lights. We have control of their cell phones. We can turn off the fucking internet. We know everything that they're saying and everything that they're doing because we record all of their conversations via these massive information gathering stations that are all over. What the fuck is a goddamn automatic weapon going to do in the face of that darkness? That's what I want to know. Why would...
What did we learn? What was accomplished by 9/11?
It got us into... It was like created enough of a fervor where we were able to get into Iraq.
What was the bottom line of that? Even more so to it. We added extra things at the airport. There's a constant fear.
That's right.
And they dipped into our what are they called? Our human rights. Yes. Which they have been dipping in for the last 80 years.
Right.
You have to assume. That's part of growing is intelligence, knowing what's going out there.
Yeah.
So what did we accomplish? They put security at the airport.
Yeah.
They dipped in. I see this. I see the beginnings of Cuba.
Right.
I see the beginnings of Cuba and thought everything we're guided to. It seems like they're taking a lot away from us. It's these people with tattoos. It starts with fucking the people with tattoos. This growth with tattoos.
What do you mean?
Just we're all getting marked. We're all getting ready to get marked.
What do you mean? People who are...
Just we're all getting ready to get numbered.
Right.
Our mentality is going back to this. We all drink Starbucks.
Yeah.
We all shop at fucking, May DNF or whatever hot store it is. Our thoughts are the same. Now they're going into a movie theater. Listen, I don't believe in conspiracy. I'm no conspiracy theorist, but you have to ask yourself at times, could this be a possibility? What are they going to accomplish from this? What's going to be accomplished? We're not going to sell weapons no more?
No.
What's going to be accomplished? Something on a business level has to blow up from this.
Right.
Okay? 9/11, 10 different businesses blew up. People had computer communications and tape recordings and fucking security and this and that and weapons now at arenas.
Sure.
There's a business angle to it. I haven't figured it out. What are they going to do? Put 2 guards at each movie theater?
Here's what it is, man.
Put fucking secure metal detectors at fucking movie theaters?
I don't think that's going to happen because people just stop going to movies. But here's what is going to happen. This is the conspiracy, man. The conspiracy, it's like a really good fighter has an agenda. Right? A really good, someone who's really good at jiu-jitsu. They've got a fucking agenda. One of my favorite things is to watch UFC, the fucking title card, to watch fucking someone who's really, really, really good at jiu-jitsu fight and watch the way that they can, no matter what the person's throwing at them, they can always shift themselves in incremental ways to get themselves closer to their agenda, right? So I think that there's an agenda, right? There's a basic agenda, and the agenda is to increase power and to make money. That's the agenda of whatever's behind the whole fucking war. Call it the military-industrial complex. Call it whatever you want. Call it the Illuminati. Whatever you want. The agenda is to make more money and get more power. So I don't think that they need to create situations like what happened in Aurora. I think they know that situations like that are naturally going to happen,
statistically.
And then they have plans to react to them in certain ways, which tighten the fucking coils of the anaconda. But I don't think that they need to. I don't think they're like, yeah, let's train a fucking jackass to fucking dress like the Joker and go blow some people up. And man, as far as the fucking booby traps go, dude, if I gave you, just for fun, if I'm like, Joey, I'm going to give you a month. and I'm giving you $3,000, $4,000 in an internet connection. I want you to booby trap my apartment in a way that if somebody comes in here, shit's going to catch on fire. You could do that. I could do that. There's a Boy Scout. I posted it up on my Facebook page. There's a Boy Scout. It's one of the most amazing stories ever. There's a Boy Scout who is crazy, and he fucking made a nuclear reactor in his backyard. He went around and bought all these old antique clocks that had this special kind of mercury in it, and he or some kind of special uranium or some weird shit, and he fucking made a goddamn nuclear reactor. Geiger counters were going off around the neighborhood from this fucking kid's nuclear reactor that he made in his backyard. If that kid could make a fucking nuclear reactor, then a dude with orange hair and a little bit of fucking time who was in a neuroscience program can figure out how to fucking put some goddamn grenades to a circuit board.
But here's what scares me. Yeah, I agree with you. You could do it the first time or do it. His was so fucking good that SWAT took 3 fucking days. So people that did this for a living were confused.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
There's something more here, Duncan.
Well, look.
I don't know. There's no lone bullet theory here. Listen, life goes on at the end of the week. It's a shame what happened. I don't want you to sit there and email me, well, Joey, listen, just think about it. Something's not right here. Something's not right.
Something's not.
3 fucking days. Yeah, you could tie a string with a cup of fucking cyanide and get 3 grenades. This guy had some shit in there, dog.
Well, we don't know what was in there.
And we'll never know. Well,
this
is scary.
But that's the other side of it, man. I think we're in a situation now where it's not, and by the way, maybe it's neither here nor there, whether the guy was trained or wasn't trained. There is one truth, one reality of what's happening. And what's happening is, it's what you said. Shit is tightening up. They just took away the fucking dispensaries, fucking...
which nothing's going to happen.
Nothing's going to happen with it, but that did happen. You go through the airport, you feel like you're getting fucking raped. There's there's war drums beating from Israel to Iran. The shit going down in Syria with the fucking supplies of chemical weapons. It does feel, and I always feel like this is the problem, because for years I always feel like this. It does feel like something is getting put into place. Now, I don't know if that's just because I eat too much weed and get paranoid, but...
Let's take a fucking genius.
I can remember way back in the day up in Asheville, North Carolina, taking acid with my friends. And, you can, if you ever take LSD and really want to fucking freak out, there's one simple thing to do. If you really want to get the whole message and not have to read the Unabomber's Manifesto or read any kind of conspiracy shit, take some nice, potent LSD and sit down by yourself with $1 bill and just look at that shit. That's all you need to get the whole fucking story. Just look at that thing. Consider that. Consider all the symbols on there. And you'll start thinking to yourself, what the fuck is this shit, man? Why is it Haunted Mansion green? Why is there a pyramid with an eye floating on the top of it on the basic unit of my country's currency? What is that? What does Novus Ordo Secularum mean? New Order of the Ages. Why is that on here? What the fuck is that? Why would there's so many things you could put on $1 bill. It's designed to buy shit. It just represents trade. It's currency. Why do you need to put all these weird fucking symbols all over the fucking thing? And if you're on acid, all the conditioning, all the years of conditioning fall away, and all of a sudden you're looking at this shit for the first time ever. Like if dollar bills didn't exist, and I had one sitting on my table, if there were no dollar bills, and you looked at it, right away you'd be like, dude, why do you got this satanic shit on your table? That's the first thing you'd think. You're like, what's this Aleister Crowley shit? What is this? Why do you have this dark, fucking, crappy, rectangular piece of paper with a fucking angry-looking eagle holding fucking arrows? What is this? That's what you'd think, but because we're always seeing it, because we see the dollar bill all the time, it's like, yeah, it's just...
Take it for granted.
You take it for granted.
Just look at it, you don't realize.
Yeah, you take it for granted. So it's like, way back then in the day, man, I can remember me and my friends would be like, something's going to happen. What the fuck is this, man? Something's happening. Something's going to happen. Why is this experience that we're having right now illegal? Why don't they want us to feel like this? There's no OD. Unless you're an elephant, you can't overdose on LSD. Why is there a 5-year mandatory minimum for us taking this chemical? Why will they put you in jail for 5 years for having an experience that can kill you, that's like you can't OD on, that's not addictive? You can't even do it 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, definitely, because your tolerance builds up so much. So these thoughts start coming through your head, and then you start realizing, whoa, they don't want us to fucking think these thoughts. This is creating a situation where whatever conditioning that's inside of us is being lifted momentarily, and they don't like that. And I remember way back then, way before September 11th, we would talk about it, and we always called it, the shit is going to hit the fan. That's what we'd say. The shit's going to hit the fucking fan. And like, so, you know, now when I think to like when I used to go to the airport when I was a kid, what that was like, you'd go through one of those shitty metal detectors and that's it. Fucking security guards would say hi to you. And now I think about it and it's like there's practically fucking German goddamn SS dogs waiting to fucking sniff your goddamn balls just to like get through. You know, everyone's in a trance. That's another creepy thing, man. Go through fucking security the next time you go through security at the airport and look around. Nobody's awake. Everybody's asleep. You feel like you're watching a bunch of people on fucking Ambien. They're just like blanking out to try to deal with the situation. They've had to put themselves to sleep. They've had to like ignore what's happening. Like, yeah, this is just, we're going through the fucking thing. Oh yeah, go through my bag. Go ahead. Okay, yeah, I just got to get to my flight. Yeah, go through my bag. Oh, you see a fucking 6-year-old girl? You see a 6-year-old little girl in fucking crutches getting taken aside and fucking patted down by a goddamn 250-pound Filipino man who looks like he'd gladly snap her fucking arm off of her body if she tried to run. And everybody just like, yeah, just let it fucking horrible. Just let it go. Just it's fucking horrible. So yeah, definitely something's happening, man. I'm the kid. I believe this shit, my friends. I just don't believe that the goddamn Aurora Dunce was trained by the CIA. Why? Because I have more respect for the CIA than that. Because I think the fucking CIA or whoever did this could have taken out a lot more people. And they would have taken out a lot more people if they could have, if that was really their intention. I think it's just a crazy guy. I think it's a fucking crazy dipshit. Anyway, that's my take on it.
Smoke the fucking weed and pass it, cocksucker. You're gonna sit there and look at it and talk to me about this Colorado dunce and shit. It's. I feel bad. But you feel bad about everything. You feel bad about them blowing up the daycare, Oklahoma. I mean, yeah. Every couple of years you're going to have some fucking Momo out there, you know?
Right.
I don't think stopping guns is the answer.
It definitely isn't the fucking answer.
I don't like fucking guns. You know, guns are overrated for a guy like me. I always wanted a gun, and then when I got it, guns, when you carry a gun, it's like you're walking on a fake fucking cloud.
Yeah.
Because part of you wants something to happen, but you don't want nothing to happen. And that energy of having a gun in your waist and selling blow and picking this up, it got to the point where everybody I dealt with had a gun. It felt like a magnet.
Right.
It felt like I had a fucking death magnet on me. It was like
a
drama magnet. Or, you know, they're testing you every day to use it.
Yeah.
And one day I stopped carrying a gun, and I saw the dramatic drama disappear. There's so much with a gun. There's so much with carrying a gun. I went to Arizona. A friend picked me up, and while we were going to breakfast, I bent over and I seen he had a holster on.
Yeah.
It stopped me in my place. He's not a cop.
Right.
It just stopped me. Just the energy of that gun.
Yeah.
Me right now, how I live today and how I've lived the last 20 years. After I got out of prison for the kidnapping, I've never wanted a gun around me. I don't even carry a pocket knife.
Right.
Because even a pocket knife is a magnet.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, that guy's got a fucking knife. So that's my philosophy on all that shit. That's just me. I know that I love to have one if shit goes down, but I'd rather take the chance and not have one.
Yeah, I just like, because I grew up in the South and my dad's a hunter and like, I just never got like, I never got freaked out by the things, man. And I understand like, you know, seeing people carrying guns in a holster and shit, it's like, it's spooky. But out here, you mentioned like wanting to get a gun to certain people, and they acted like you just said you wanted to order a fucking crate of kiddie porn from Thailand. They're like, oh, what? a gun? Don't do that. It's like, yo, what is a fucking inanimate object? It'd sit in my goddamn closet and fucking use it to vaporize an asshole's head if they went into my fucking house because they wanted to steal my computer.
That's all it's used for, is protection.
Yeah.
That's it. You carry it in your car, you're carrying your gun. First time you put your gun in the car, some guy's going to cut you off just to test you.
Right.
Just the universe has to test you.
Yes.
And I tell you what, the worst thing you want to do in your life is pull a fucking gun.
Ugh.
And I pulled them, and that's how I learned. Pulling a gun like an idiot is the worst thing in the fucking world.
Because you got to use it.
Because now you got to use it.
Yeah.
And here you are in the middle of the street like a fucking Puerto Rican walking around with a fucking gun, and people are like, what, are you crazy or something? So that's why I stopped. It was the weirdest thing. I stopped at a time in my life where a guy like me would have liked to carry a gun. I'm like, something ain't right about carrying a gun. Something was just never right.
No. I mean, it's because it's the other implication. I mean, there's a deeper thing. It's like, you don't want to fucking address the fact that we still live in a time in human history where killing someone is the solution to a problem. Why is that? You want to live in a time when that isn't the solution. That's not the way we fix our problems. But because it's a mode of thinking, man. It's like it's a mode of thinking. It's a form of religion. You know, that's the military, the military. You know, any military, any nation's military. What it's saying is the way to solve a problem is to kill strangers. That's the idea. The way to solve a problem is to kill each other. That's how we're going to work through the problems of being human beings on this planet, is by negating someone's life force on a massive scale to the point where someone submits to the other, and that's how we fix it. And that's the state of the world. That really is how things are right now, and accepting that is it's a bitter pill. You know, I don't want to live in that fucking world. I want to live in fucking
Happinessville.
What's that Led Zeppelin song? Sitting in the park with flowers in there. That's the greatest fucking song ever. I want to live in the beginning of that song before the cops come. You know what I mean? But we don't live in that world. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world.
We live in a fun fucking world. It's what you make it. All right?
Exactly.
It's fucking what you make it.
That's
if you
right.
want to carry guns, you know, I got busted with a fucking machine gun.
What?
When I got in trouble, those felonies in Colorado, I had a machine gun.
Where'd you get a machine gun?
Doesn't matter, does it? It just doesn't matter. Just to prove to you, get anything at any time. But it was so weird how people looked differently at me. Like, they threw me in jail. Like, I even told, like, my attorney, I'm like, I didn't do anything. He's like, there was a machine gun involved. When there's a machine gun involved, you're going to do some time because there's a potential for crime. What if that machine gun would have gone off?
No matter what.
You would have scared the shit out of people.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to those people on Thursday night because they'll never go see a movie again. A movie will never be the same to them again.
Right.
I can't even think of, I was thinking of going to see Batman, and I can't.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, because...
Dude, let's go.
In my mind, for some people, it's the last thing they saw.
All right.
The last thing they saw. How sad is that? Listen, I have a motto, and people get pissed at me sometimes. You ever go to a UFC? You were at a UFC in Calgary last week.
Yes.
You've been at a UFC for 1 minute, you're like, is this the night some fucking Arab is going to walk in here and blow 18,000 people up? So the more you go to those things, the more your odds are against you that something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Since I was 16, I had this motto, man. You got to cut down on your shit. You can't like everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't like everything. And it's a weird thing that something like happened at a movie theater. It breaks my heart. I grew up in a fucking movie theater.
Yeah.
And I thought about, I heard Batman is tremendous. But just going to see it is going to make me think that for some people, this is the last thing they saw.
Right.
How fucking sad.
Sad.
They didn't go to war. They didn't go to Cop Coke. They didn't go to fuck with fucking yams in a black neighborhood to get Oxycontin. They went to a movie theater as a family.
Yeah.
That's something that's against the whole American thing. This is what America's about. I pay taxes so that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I pay taxes so that doesn't happen. And it happened. And something's got to happen to counter that. It's not the guns. I don't know what it is, but my heart goes out to those victims. I can't even imagine being one of those people. I can't even imagine waking up and somebody telling me my 6-year-old is fucking dead. I can't even imagine
it's
that
absurd.
shit. You see that? She's pregnant and the kid in the womb lived and shit.
Yep.
You know, all they did was go to a fucking movie.
Yeah, it's absurd.
They went to a fucking movie, not, like I said. So that's why I can't, You know, it's with the world we live in today.
That's the world, man. That's the fucking world.
And that's why you got to keep smoking dope and cracking jokes.
And
what are you
don't
going
let
to do?
it get you down. I mean, the thing is, it's like we have to like have. You know, I used to go to this church in L.A. called Agape, and it's like a cheese ball, man. But I learned so much from this guy from that church, man. And one of the things he said is, use the fucking newspaper. You know, don't read the newspaper to get news, to get information, because that information that you get from reading the newspaper 9 times out of 10 is not going to help you. Or as Paul Simon said, you know, I gather all the news I need from the weather report. That's all you need. The other shit you don't fucking need. He said, don't use the newspaper. Don't use the news to gather information. Use that news as a prayer sheet to know where to fucking like send your good vibes out to. That's what you use it for. When you read that stuff, use it so that you can like, for a moment, have a moment of silence and like, for whatever it's worth, send some fucking love vibes to the people who are right now in the hospital still fighting for their lives, for the families who are dealing with the loss. Use it as a way. You can get in touch with those people, man. I'll post a fucking link. There was this comic named Caleb.
Yes, Caleb.
Yeah, I'll post a link.
I retweeted the one thing the other day.
Yeah, man.
I think I even sent $20.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
You can send money. You can there's things that you can actively do when you see this stuff, because the first reaction when you see it is to be like, oh man. And I mean, I do this where you go into this moment where you're like, we live in the darkest world there is. But it's like, man, check it out. For the entire history of the fucking planet and our species, we've been going through shitty times, man. Why? Because we live in a goddamn vacuum. We literally live in a vacuum. What's separating us from a vacuum of weird alien gases, radioactivity, fucking crazy solar blasts is one thin little magnetic membrane. Things can't necessarily be calm in that situation. We're in a little droplet of life in the middle of a vortex of fucking insanity. It's amazing how harmonized and beautiful and balanced things are anyway. So it's like you get to decide. Here's what it all boils down to. You get to decide. Where do you want your focus to go? Do you want your attention to go to the idea that we live in a fucking insane vortex of horror and terror? Or do you want your mind to go in another direction? Which is
get up and go to work and do what the fuck you got to do.
Yeah.
And cut the shit, cocksucker. Don't worry about what's going on. And here's a flip side to that. Arapahoe, where that guy is at Arapahoe County Jail, they're not the sharpest fucking tools in the shed. Because I went through that jail. But I have a fucked up story about that. When I got arrested for the kidnapping trial in Boulder, the guy that got caught driving the car with the kid in the trunk, his name was Stephen Tidwell. They brought him back to Boulder, but while he was in Boulder that night, they figured they found out he had a warrant in Jefferson County, which is Arapahoe County Jail, whatever the fuck it was, Arapahoe County Jail. They brought him to Arapahoe County Jail, and he had a stand trial. The next day, it was a parking ticket. The idiots let him out once he paid his $68 fine. He was on hold for kidnapping in Boulder. They let him out by mistake.
Jesus.
I remember getting a call from the DA going, have you seen Tidwell? I'm like, no, why? Am I supposed to? And he's like, he got let out by mistake. If he contacts you, please contact us. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to contact you fucking idiots?
They're not going to let him out. I think the fucking red hair guys.
Oh, no. I'm just saying that's it's so weird because I went through all those little fucking county jails for a while. And the best one, like I went to Boulder, Arapahoe, and Jefferson County. But the best one was the one up in the mountains by Dillon up there. That was the best one. They let you wear your own clothes. You played handball. They let you suntan. At night, the guard went out with a Safeway and brought you back treats. You could watch your movies.
That's nice. It's like summer camp.
It was like fucking summer camp. Very nice.
You know who I wish they'd let out of fucking jail, man?
Who?
Charles Manson.
No. Leave that fucking Momo alone. Leave that fucking guy alone.
No, dude.
Yeah,
it would be so great if they let him out.
No,
He's not going to murder anybody else.
No. But there's nothing to talk to that.
He'd do a tour. He'd
No,
do a
no,
music tour.
No.
He'd do TED Talks.
And the sad thing is that people would actually pay to see that fucking Momo.
Would.
They double bill him with Charlie Sheen, and it'd be they get Kurt Fox down there, and everybody play the drums, and everybody fucking be happy.
They'd have a reality show. He'd be getting reality shows thrown at him.
Can you imagine Charles Manson's reality show?
It'd be the greatest.
Fuck Gene Simmons and his fucking weavy hair doing shit. Charles Manson's there looking at the camera, quoting Hitler. He's got a little fucking Hannibal Lecter calendar and shit. He's got a picture. I mean, that is just crazy. They could never let him out. You can't let people like that out. they're way gone. Look, when you look at Charles Manson, you see a brilliance.
Yes.
Because if you don't, you're a fucking idiot.
For sure you do.
You see a brilliance, but you also see where it got him. You also see where the brilliance got him.
Yeah, he misused his power.
Right. You see the fucking brilliance. So it's to me, but once you walk around with a SWAT sticker on your head, the conversation's over. There's nothing else for us to talk about.
Well, I think he was using the swastika more in the pre-Hitler idea of this, not defending Manson. I don't mean to defend. Anytime you find yourself defending Charles Manson, you should probably shut up.
You might as well write fucking Bundy a letter. You know what I'm saying? You might as well write fucking Robert Ramirez a birthday card.
You want to hear something crazy, man? Did you ever hear about this? This fucking kid, he was a psychology student, and he started writing letters to serial killers in prison, but the personality in the letters that he used was the personality of the people they like to kill. So, like, they would read these letters and, like, get to be friends with him. And he wrote fucking... he started writing letters to John Wayne Gacy. And John Wayne Gacy started writing him back. And he was writing these letters to, like, kind of like what Gacy would like, you know? He's kind of, like, created a personality Gacy would want to fuck or want to, like, snap the neck of or whatever. And he said that Gacy started writing him back, and when he could, Gacy would, like, call him. I guess they let Gacy make phone calls, but he ended up going to visit John Wayne Gacy in prison, and he was sitting across from this fucking monster, and he stunk. I think he said he stunk. Like, his body stunk. He smelled bad, and he, like, is describing to him in great detail what it was like to, like, strangle somebody to death. And the fucking guards, man, they, like, left them alone in there. Like, all of a sudden he realized he was kind of sitting alone with this guy who has nothing to lose and is a
The guards are having a good time. They're like, this is entertainment. This idiot that has a normal life wants to write these fucking other idiots.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you know what? We were in Atlanta once.
But hold on, let me finish. Here's the one last little piece. What he said that's so creepy is that he can't get John Wayne Gacy's eyes out of his head. Like, he can't forget it. Like, he can't. The guy fucking burnt into his head because he was such a beast that it, like, somehow, like, permanently. So now he's got a piece of this guy inside of him forever.
Might as well sucked his dick while he was dead. Gacy's dick would have fucking been killer, probably. Tell your buddy to get it together, will he?
He's not my friend.
Listen, man. When you're involved in death, you remove emotions. So the emotions that pertain to death, your scariness, focus on. It's like a guy with one arm. You know, he's got one arm. That other arm is going to be stronger than a motherfucker.
Right.
You follow me? Because that one arm, all that other emotion is missing. He doesn't have emotions like you and I.
Right.
He doesn't have emotions for a fly or a cat or to feed somebody. Everything. So those looks and shit, that's why they're all so perceived as that. In my eyes, I don't want to be around somebody of that nature.
No way.
It does nothing for you. People are like sponges. They have a ball of energy around them. And you never want to take not even a tenth of that energy that those people have to bring to the table, because at the end of the day, they just took lives.
Right.
And when you take a life, it's the worst thing in the world, whether you're right or wrong.
Right.
Whether the guy raped your sister, fucked your mother in the asshole, nobody ever gave anybody the power to take a life.
Yeah.
And look at the people that take lives. Even like when they interviewed Carlos Leder and drug dealers in their mind, Pablo Escobar. Once you take a life, you take a lot of lives. It puts you in a God zone in your head. You don't want to deal with those people. You're not God.
Right.
You're fucked up. You took a life and you enjoyed it. And I understand. There's some fucking maggots that you got to stab in the fucking neck. You're going to even have to answer for that one.
Right.
Everybody answers for death. You took a life. You took an energy. You cut energy in half. You know, it's always going to be bad. And when you think about the bottom line, you're like, I don't want to be around those people. I remember being at the Comedy Store years ago. I'm a mob buff. I grew up in it. And I remember one night, what was his name? Paulie's assistant.
Ludington?
No, the other fucking Momo. Good guy, though. Great guy.
Dean?
No, that Momo. The good guy. He had a nickname. He was the one that would go into the audience and get chicks for Paulie. He was from Ohio.
I don't know.
Great guy. He comes and he's like, Joey, come on out. Henry Hill is there. Now, I liked the movie Goodfellas. I enjoyed the book. But when I knew by looking at it, I knew 50% of this was bullshit. Because if you're not in the mob, they don't talk about that shit in front of you, especially in the 70s.
Yeah.
And I remember going out there and seeing Dice and all these people sitting around this guy having a great time with a guy that did nothing correct in his life.
Right.
He played the game, he killed, and then at the end of the game, he took his ball home with him.
Right.
I don't want to play this no more. I'm going to take my ball home with me.
Right.
And you're fucking saluting the fucking guy. There's got to be something around that. And even after you go home and you leave, you're like, something wasn't right about that guy. He takes lives. You know, it's so weird. And listen, drug dealers take lives.
Sure.
But you also make the decision of putting that line in your nose.
Right.
Every time I go
difference.
home, big difference. It's something I've always looked at people who took lives and how their lives ended. I had a godfather who was successful, millionaire, and one day they said, bro, you want to tell you how his story? He was target practicing. He was a contractor. My uncle, my godfather who baptized me was a contractor. And he would buy this block where you live in, and he would build one home. He would move into it, and it would be the custom home that he would show people.
Right.
When they come to, this is the home I'll build you. He'd get a deposit, and he'd build 5 homes.
Right.
So he had all this property. And at night, he would go out there and target practice. Listen to this story. When he's fucking 52, a millionaire, 3 kids, a fucking pillar in the society. Some guy was walking his fucking dog. And the bullet went through the target and kept going and hit the guy in the leg. He mysteriously goes to the hospital. They take the bullet. 2 days later, they go to my godfather. They knock on his door, and they said, were you shooting? He says, no. He says, it's weird because the way the trajectory of the bullet, it came from here. They found out the bullet came from a gun that killed somebody in 1964 in California, which was him. They went and got... Can you imagine that? That's karma.
Up.
How is it that you shoot
karma,
a fucking
dude.
bullet and it goes and astray and they catch you 30 years fucking later?
Yeah.
So I've always known that you pay. You always pay. Nothing is free when you take a life because you don't have that. And I know if you look at one of your Hindu books, Basarani or whatever,
Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita, nobody has the right to take a life.
Right.
And they believe, even like a fly. Like I love, you ever go up to a fly and kill it like that with your hands?
Yeah, I feel
There's
bad.
implications.
Yeah.
Me, I've killed 1,000 of them, so some fucking big fly's going to fuck me in the ass in heaven or wherever the fuck I go.
Well, the idea is that just what you're saying. It's just that you got to pay your debts.
Anybody who's been involved in the death, something's not right.
Yeah.
And I know, like my stepdad, I watched his evolution. And he lived a long life, and he was successful financially, but something was missing. And you always have to answer for that. I always wanted to shoot somebody and kill somebody. I thought it was very neat. I wanted to be a hitman.
Yeah.
But once I understood that, I learned from the other day I had Stephen Bauer on the podcast, and we talked about, Cuban stuff. And he was like, I was never around that. And we started talking about a story about a time where a Cuban cop shook down a bunch of Cuban bar owners in Union City. I ever tell you about this? And they got together, and one day I was in the 6th grade.
Yeah.
And I went up there, and they all got together, and they were talking, this guy's got to go. And one night my mother's like, listen, I'm going to go to this lady's house. They're going to fucking do this thing with a candle and a spirit. And they went over there, and the lady's like, in 7 days, that guy's going to die.
Yeah.
And the guy died. He got shot 3 days later. Rapido Taxi.
Right.
It was a Cuban cocaine taxi company. Rapido means quick.
Yeah.
They never picked you up. They just delivered cocaine in the 70s. And it was really weird until this day. When my mother went into that realm, she left the door open.
Right.
When you go into that, even murder for hire, even if I say to you, go kill fucking Pete Patello, put a bullet in his head, even that realm, once you open up that realm, I like it. Once you open up that realm, you're in that death zone, I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about.
No,
Duncan.
I do. It got
you get
dark.
me high, you give me this fucking hang.
It got dark. We got to reverse it now. So we've talked about one side of the fucking equation, which is negative activities end up backfiring inevitably. So if you're killing someone, it backfires.
Leaves the back door open.
Yeah. So what's the opposite of that? The beautiful thing, this is the thing, we're only talking about one side of the equation here. There's another beautiful side of the fucking equation that if you kill people and you there's a law that means that you're going to get fucked, there has to be the other side of that too. And that principle is that if you're putting good shit out into the world, good things are going to come back to you in massive ways. You know, I feel a little guilty having gone so dark on this podcast. I didn't mean to, because I don't like sending out the bad vibes, though I am a fan of the ghost story from time to time. And the things that we were just talking about, ultimately, it's just an adult ghost story. That's what the news is. That's what all this stuff is. It's like a ghost story for grown-ups. It's real. The stuff's definitely happening out there, but ultimately it has very, very little impact on your life. Ultimately, unless you're one of the unlucky few, ultimately very, very little impact. It's a ghost story. It's not real. And it's fun to tell them, and it's fun to believe in it for a little while, but it's just a minor ripple in the surface of time and space that we happen to be like flitting around on as little human gnats, you know? And there's another side of that too. It's just like, don't believe the fucking, you know, when the Buddha was meditating under the Bodhi tree, before he attained enlightenment, he was tempted by death, the spirit of death. He was tempted by the spirit of death in 3 different ways. And one of the ways was the spirit of death threw fireballs at him, which is like, you know, back then, like back in the day, that's what you would write to try to get across something. Now it'd be like, I don't know, fucking ICBMs or some shit. Who knows? But back then, fireballs were the thing you talk about. But you know, the Buddha smiled, and the fireballs turned into flower petals and fell to the ground because he wasn't afraid. He conquered his fear. He smiled at the fire, conquered his fear, and the very act of conquering his fear transformed what initially was some horrible thing into a very beautiful thing. And so that's the idea right now. Right now, the spirit of the universe, Mara, the spirit of death, also known as Nancy Grace, is trying to hurl fucking terrifying fear fireballs at all of humanity. Right? They're trying to scare us because, in a way, right now, all of humanity, we're all sitting under that fucking Bodhi tree. We're sitting at that moment where what the Buddha said is, I'm either going to die or I'm going to get enlightened. In the same way, our entire species, we're either going to wake the fuck up, put the guns down, stop trying to fucking exploit each other, put the missiles away. We're either going to fucking wake up and do that and jump into a kind of incredible paradise that could really fucking happen. It could really happen, or we're just going to blow each other up. One or the other, man. And the first step in gaining that kind of universal planetary enlightenment is to not let these fucking cunts like Nancy Grace or Bill O'Reilly or Fox News or Rupert Murdoch scare us. Because that's all they're trying to do. That's the first step. They're trying to scare us. So theater shooter goes in and shoots up a bunch of people. Now it's like, everyone watch out. We're all in trouble now. You know? No. We're fine. That's the big message. We're fucking fine. And the less we let them freak us out, and I'm obviously guilty, you can rewind 15 minutes, and I sound like fucking Nostradamus talking about the goddamn sky dragon flying down and eating the entire planet, because I get sucked in it too. But ultimately, if we fucking smile at the darkness, that's when shit'll start. That's the only power they have over us, man. That's the only power they have, is to scare us. Fuck them. Climb up the tree. Fucking climb up the goddamn tree, humanity. Let's do this shit.
It's amazing when you see behind the curtain. And God bless me for seeing behind the curtain at a young age. Where I grew up was very politically corrupt. So it taught me to see behind the curtain. And I don't even watch the news because I know they're just in business to fuck up your day.
Yes.
That's what you're in business of, is to put fear.
Yep.
All the news stories they tell you are subjective. They pick them themselves. There's a million news stories to fucking pick one.
Yep.
The first 15 minutes are to put fear into you.
Yes.
To keep the Americans fucking down in a way. They're keeping you down.
Yes.
And that's why I don't like it. I don't watch it.
Yeah.
I refuse in the morning. I watch KTLA, which is more of an LA thing for traffic and whatnot. But besides that, I don't watch the news at all.
Yeah.
At all. I'd rather read something online or something. And even that, you know, we just went from shooting and it becomes the Colorado massacre.
Yes.
You know, everything has a fucking media twist to it.
Yeah.
Everything has a marketing touch to it. You know, 3 days later, the massacre or this or that. And it just tightens people up. And at the end of the day, you're like, why am I so tight?
There you go.
Why am I so tight about what? How can I control that? And how couldn't I control that?
It's a magnifying glass, dude. The media is a magnifying glass that magnifies negativity. You have this initially awful thing happen. Then the media holds a magnifying glass in front of it. Like when you were a kid, you ever do that where you fucking took a magnifying glass under the sun and tried to ignite ants? God forgive me, but I did that when I was a little bastard.
And I like firecrackers too.
Terrible. So
tremendous.
that's the fucking that's what the media is doing to humanity. We're the fucking ants. The media is this fucking idiot, goddamn sadistic kid with a magnifying glass, and the sun is any negative act that happens in the fucking world. And they take that fucking magnifying glass and they try to shine that negativity right into our fucking brains to make us terrified. Imagine this world, dude. Think of this fucking world. Imagine a world where in the morning everybody got up at 6 or 7 a.m. and didn't turn on the goddamn news, went outside for 10 minutes. Everybody just went outside and said, "Good morning, what's up? Good morning, yeah, hi," and then went to work for the rest of the day. Didn't watch news, nothing. Just acknowledge the fact that we're all living together here on this fucking planet, and the sky is beautiful. It's a beautiful fucking place. No more of putting our ears to that howling banshee, that hell banshee, which is the fucking media. It's just one day like that. I think one day like that around the planet, like go outside day, maybe 2 days, that could shift everything for us, But first, we've got this fucking cunt at the party. The cunt is the media. The cunt is the forces who are selling advertising on the backs of massacres,
It's amazing when you lose your phone for a few days. It's amazing when your internet goes down. AT&T drops it, or your cable knocks it out for 4 days. How different you feel.
Yeah.
The first day you catch yourself stressing.
Yes.
I can't go online. Facebook, Yahoo, I can't read. And all of a sudden, as the days go, you relax more. By the third day, you're like, ooh, the computer's on. At this point, who gives a fuck? But at that minute, you realize how all that shit controls your fucking world. And it shouldn't. It's got nothing to do with your ultimate goal of the last point of the day. But we let it because it takes us in different directions.
Yeah.
In those days, like about 2 months ago, I had no internet for a week. A week. I had no emails. I found the way how to get them. But my news sources were dried up because I didn't have that much time.
It feels so good.
And it really does.
They're poisoning us.
It really does. When you just take away all that shit from your life and you think you can't live. Because the best thing in life is realizing you can live without something.
News fast. Hold on. I'm going to pause for 1 sec. We had to take a water break.
That's right.
Sorry to fuck up the flow, my friends. The main thing is we got to learn to goddamn transform the foul, dark darts that the universe throws at us into fucking medicine. That's the idea. It's an idea in this fucking thing I chant here, this Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. They call it poison into medicine. It's a Buddhist concept, and the idea is that as a human being, our power, what we have that's different from everything else, is that we can alchemically transform the negative occurrences that come into our life and flip them around and actually use them to our advantage. It's a form of spiritual judo where you're taking the fucking, what appears to be the negative momentum of the universe, and you're using it as like fucking platforms that you can do really badass artistic maneuvers on. That's the fucking thing. People don't realize that. I get in the victim mentality all the goddamn time. I was just in it for like a week and a half because I got sick, and I was like, oh man, what the fuck? I don't know if anybody's, I don't have a girlfriend. No one's here to take care of me. Oh, poor me. The world beating down on the world is pushing me down. And then suddenly I realized, oh no, you're being a victim here, man. You're letting yourself pretend to be like under the sway of the universe. And that's not it. It's like, no matter how you feel, man, waking up and fucking pushing back in a positive way. That's the idea. And it's not going to happen in some grand, it doesn't happen, we don't all get to be, it doesn't come to us in the form of a fucking amazing, it doesn't come to us in the form of an epiphany. It comes in little fucking moments throughout the day. It's the guy cutting you off in traffic. It's the fucking shitty bill that you weren't expecting. It's the fucking stupid phone call that you have with somebody. It's hitting your fucking foot on the goddamn edge of the dishwasher, your leg. Those are the moments. Those are all opportunities to flip shit around. Those are all opportunities to demonstrate the incredible potency that you have as a human being.
It's sometimes we lose it. I'm the king of that shit. I have this Latin blood. And you lose it over something minute. You go to an audition, it's running late. Something's
Yeah.
not in your world. And you go home and you calm down. And at the end of the day, how does it affect you?
Yeah.
I've always been a big thing on how does it affect you. I've been to people's houses when they're depressed. What are you depressed about? The Red Sox lost.
Right.
Are you fucking crazy? Are you fucking crazy? Are you starting an act? Is this an act you're doing to be cute?
Yeah.
Because you really can't be fucking doing this to me.
Right.
And it's like anything else. What we focus on takes away from what our goal is.
Right.
And it's not to focus on it. Sometimes it's the fucking news that tries to, and we all get diverted in the daytime. Like I said, the internet diverts you sometimes.
Yes.
And by reading something else, you might go into deep waters. It's called dragging a dog in here. Why the fuck you dragging a fucking dog in here? I'm having a great day, and you got to drag some fucking story. And it's how you react to different things. And it takes time. The pain. We were talking about the pain when I was doing drugs.
Yeah.
How I got into heroin for a while. And I was like, what the fuck was going on? Because I was confronting my pain. What's pain? At the end of the day, it's a fucking energy that's stuck in your body.
Right.
That's stuck. That's why you go to acupuncture, to put the needles to create the flow.
Right.
Once that's not a problem anymore, which is a pain or whatever the fuck we call it, bad energy in our body, it's just a flow. We flow. But the more we focus on that stupidity, at one time when you'd stop me in the daytime, 15 years ago, you go, how you doing? Fine, I'm broke because I pay child support, my attorney, whatever.
Yeah.
And instead of me putting that behind me and focusing on earning, I would let that get in the way of me earning.
Yes.
Instead of me going, you know what? At the end of the week, I still have to pay fucking $800. Let me go out and make $1,200. So me focusing on the bad is taking me down completely.
Right.
Let me just fucking make my money. At the end of the week, the pieces fall where they fucking make.
That's it.
And I'll guarantee I'll make 110 more this week, and I can buy a gram of blow
Right.
or whatever the fuck I need the money for.
Yeah.
And that happens in every goddamn aspect. And that's why I like the internet. But at some points, I don't like the internet. People say to me, you don't twit in the daytime. You think I'm going to live my fucking life over a computer in the daytime to show you what? My interesting life of doing what? Going to a gym, taking a picture of what I ate for lunch?
Yeah.
How does that make me better than fucking you? We all put our pants on one leg at a time. I get up in the morning. I know how lucky I am. I know what I've been through. I know that sometimes I say something that's funny. And I know how fucking important that is, but I'm thankful that God gave me that gift.
Right.
So when I wake up in the morning, I'm in a fucking great mood. I want to play music. I want to smoke dope. I want to celebrate waking the fuck up. Anything that goes into that to take me away from that, I have two decisions to make. Either it could ruin my goal for the day, or this is just a part of doing business.
That's it.
I got to go do more now. I got to go do more now. That's going back to this thing with the baby. I got to do more now.
Yeah.
I could focus on how bad, and I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night, and no sleep, and I got to put him in the back when it's rain, whatever the fuck. Or I could just do it and live my fucking life. But for people who are at home and you're 21, you're thinking, Joey, that's a great angle. I didn't know that at 21. Guys.
Right.
I did not know that at 21.
Yeah.
Okay? So please, the worst thing in life is going, fuck, I wish I had 10 years. Take this.
Yes.
Take this little thing. I know you might think I'm a fat fuck. He's just a comedian, whatever. I'm alive. And every day, I hate, people, especially in L.A., you look at them and they take life. They're too cool.
Yeah.
They're too cool to sniff the fucker. They're too cool to say, Jesus Christ, at the end of the day, these dumb fucks don't know. We all put our pants on one leg at a time.
That's it.
At the end of the day, Brad Pitt, you, Obama, we all put our pants on. What's all this fucking drama?
Right.
What's all this fucking drama for human race? Just to be whatever the fuck it is that we are. It's so simple. Life is so simple. Only we make it tough.
Right. That's it.
But we don't know this at 22.
You don't?
We don't know this at 18. We don't know this. At 19, we get a D on a term paper. We're done.
Yeah.
My parents are going to kill me. How am I going to get a job? It's just a bump in the road, bitch.
Yeah.
School's not about grades. It's about the 4-year commitment you make. When you go for an interview, they're not looking at your fucking grades. They're looking at you made a commitment for 4 or 5 years or 6 years.
Yes.
Or whatever it is. You stuck to something. And that's why some people take geography fucking courses and they're rich today. And some others do have a business degree.
Yes.
And they're fucking selling encyclopedias door to door because it's what you do with what they give you.
Yep. That's it. Man, and that's a great fucking point, man. Like when I was fucking in my 20s, if I had been lucky, like if I could have fucking enacted some of the ideas I'm just figuring out now, dude, I don't know what could have happened, man. Who knows what could have fucking happened? But I was so caught up in the swirl of life, in the shit that, you know, because when you're a kid, man, you don't even contemplate the fact that, like, the news is entertainment. You don't realize that when you're watching the fucking news, that's a for-profit organization that's selling commercial space. That's all it is. You think that that's what life is really like. You believe that. You buy into the story that you get told by the medium, by the world that you live in. And that story is not really what's fucking happening. That story will distract you. That story will make you think you're a victim. Those
stories will keep you at your job.
Yes.
Those stories will keep you put in Asheville, North Carolina, and never get the pleasure to look at what California looks like.
Yes.
Because my in-laws are from Tennessee. Them getting on a plane is like a fucking Martian activity.
Yes.
It's they pat you down. They got cancer in those machines.
Yeah.
You know, they got nothing. They got nothing.
Yeah.
But if you listen to everything they tell you, you left Asheville, North Carolina, wherever the fuck you're from,
Asheville.
Mississippi or whatever, you left there. Think of the percentage of the people that you grew up with that are still there.
Right.
That they don't have the fucking, they've been scared. Their parents beat them down. You can't leave. What about the family business? You're going to be rich someday.
Yes.
You're going to own it.
Well, here's the thing, man. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. Because I got, you know, sometimes I'll get emails from people, and they're in a situation where it's like not so easy. They can't just fucking leave. They've got a family, they've got a life, but they're not happy in that life. They want something more, and so they want to make this big move. They want to make this like really, really big extreme move because that's to fix the problem, right? But my theory is that before you make the big move, because you can get out of any situation that you're in, you can get out of any situation you're in, or rather, you can convert the negative situation to a positive situation. Before you make the big move, look at the fucking little things. Look at the little things you're doing throughout the day. Listen to yourself. Be mindful of yourself. How are you approaching the day? Are you complaining all day long? Like what you're saying. What do you say? It's bringing the dog in. What'd you call it?
Dragging a dog.
Are you dragging a dog around with you? Before you go out on your big adventure, here's something you need to figure out. How many rotting dogs do you have tied to your body right now that you're dragging around with you? Because those are the things you have to deal with first. Just look at that shit. Are you fucking a liar? Are you a gossip? Are you backstabbing people? Do you find yourself saying shitty things about your friends behind their back? Do you find yourself fucking taking more than you're supposed to take at your job? Do you find yourself not being fully present with your fucking wife when you're out to eat with her? Do you find yourself doing these little things? If that's guaranteed, that's happening. If you start dealing with those little fucking things first, the big move will make itself apparent. It'll just come to you, and it'll come to you in a way that you don't even expect. But first you've got to, that's the other thing. You got to open yourself up to the possibility that something 1,000,000 times better than what you expected to happen is going to happen. Something 1,000,000 times better. Everyone's always thinking the bad thing that's going to happen, the horrible thing. And if they're thinking about the good thing they want to have happen, it's always a good thing that they've constructed in their mind, how it's going to look. They've mapped it fucking out, how the thing's going to look. They've worked it out in their head. This is what the good thing would be. There's something far more exciting that you can open yourself up to, which is the possibility that that good thing is an infinitesimal, tiny little part of how fucking good it could be. You can open yourself up to the idea that some super amazing thing's going to come to you that you never thought. It's going to come around the corner. You didn't even expect it. It's going to come falling out of a tree at a moment that you didn't even think it was going to happen. But that shit isn't going to come until you take care of the little pieces first. You know, you got to clean the fucking altar. You got to clean your magical altar, the altar of your life. You've got to start washing out all the fucking, get the cobwebs, get rid of all the fucking little bits and pieces, and then boom. That's when the fucking beautiful, beautiful spirit comes into your life.
You know, if you call my phone, it insults people.
It's one of the funniest messages ever.
You know, I don't like messages or whatever.
Yes.
Where I got that was in 2004. Well, I was in L.A. with Duncan, and all of a sudden I'm at the Comedy Store, and the phone starts ringing for movies or whatever, and I got Spider-Man. And I would get these calls, Duncan, from people. Hey, man, how you doing? It was like a congratulation call, but a call to see what my life was about.
Right.
And how they could poison it.
Yes.
Well, nothing's going on for me, man. And they would make me feel bad about me succeeding just a tiny bit. It's not the end of the world getting a movie. It doesn't change who the fuck you are at the end of the day. But it was weird. Even at the Comedy Store, I would walk in there and I'd see people whispering before I got out of the car.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you're fucking great. But as you walked in to check in, you could feel the heat on your neck. I'll never forget, I had a fat ball on my neck. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
Yeah, you gave me the book, and I had to get surgery, and I got the fat ball out. And I'm in the hospital, and I'm under, and I'm going to get the fuck out of there because I'm addicted to coke, and I'm going to go get a gram of coke. And the doctor comes, and he's like, it was a success. It was a lot bigger than what we anticipated. Do you want to see it? And I go, sure. And I go, am I going to get sick? And he goes, no. And he brought the ball in a jar. And I remember the first time I looked at that ball, I thought of the Comedy Store. Wow. I thought about the hate and the evil at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
How people tap you in the back, but the same way they're giving you cancer.
Yeah.
Though that's a ball that people put in there. It was like an evil ball.
The evil eye.
And I started saying, you know what? No more calls.
Right.
And I had a dear friend who passed, Marilyn. She was our dear friend.
Yes.
And she had an angle of doing that, calling me in the afternoons and making me kind of feel bad. I mean, I had about 10 people in my life that I was friends with.
Yes.
That would call me and go, well, it doesn't work for you because you're in a big movie.
Yeah.
It was a joke, but it was thrown out there for a reason. You don't
Sure.
say something unless you... And it hurt me, but then again, it opened up my eyes because I don't think they were doing it and they knew what they were doing. It's their subconscious. They're in L.A.
Right.
When you come to L.A., as soon as you become a comic, an actor in L.A., 20% of your soul leaves. And you get this other thing that slips into you for a couple of years.
Sure.
And you don't really succeed until you push that 30% of your nose is wide open. Hey! And one day you realize, why am I talking to these fucking idiots? For what? So I get a part in their movie? I'm good at what I do. Why am I tolerating these fucking idiots for?
Right.
I don't go to the Comedy Store today and it hurts me. But at the other hand, I'm free. I don't have that ball in my neck no more. I don't have people going to me, hey, man, great job, and then at the same time going, fucking coke fiend.
Right.
He got that movie because he did coke and went in there and was funny, And that's what was going on. And I knew it. But I pray for those people. I stopped doing it. I learned from them.
Yes.
Because I stopped doing it. You know what? He got that because he's talented, and leave it at that.
Yep.
Say that to yourself.
Yes.
And by saying that to yourself, you're not only helping that person, you're putting out the energy and you're helping yourself.
Fuck yes.
You're taking all that evil out of your fucking heart. And this is why I don't have communication with a lot of comedians. Because for a lot of comedians, I'm by myself. When I go on stage, I got a microphone and me, and I'm fucking, what's that word they use when you're in a biker gang? I run nomad. I'm like Jackson, the Sons of Anarchy. I run nomad.
Yes.
You follow me?
Yeah.
And comics forget that you're responsible for everything from A to Z. It's not
Fuck
your
yes.
agent. It's not your fucking manager. It's not this cunt that's telling you they're going to give you this. You control everything. And that just doesn't apply to comedy. That controls to everything. You control everything.
Yes.
You control. People always go, how did you lose 100 pounds? I thought about it. And once I realized that, because knowing and knowing that you could do is two different things.
Right.
Knowing and knowing that you could do. That's why I don't like acting classes. Because the whole time you're yearning.
Yes.
And at the end of the week, you could do this. It's like stand-up.
Yeah.
I thought about stand-up for 2 years, like everybody else does before they do it. My fears talked me out of it. Once I got on stage, even if I bombed, I knew I could do it.
Yeah.
It changed you.
Yeah, man. Well, you know what you are, man? You're a man of action. You take fucking action, man. You make decisions. You take action. A lot of people don't do that. They don't make decisions. They're always living in between.
What are the options? When you don't take action, what are your fucking options in life?
Right.
You're going to be stuck at the same place you were stuck 10 years ago with the same fucking people around you talking about the same fucking shit.
Yep.
You ever work in a factory?
A
summer job? You ever have a job and everybody hates the one manager?
Yep.
And after 6 months of being there, 50% of these people's lives are consumed with that fucking manager.
Yes.
That's their life. That's
Yes.
your life. It's happened when I dated a woman. In the 90s, I dated a woman, and when we broke up, I realized, Jesus Christ, 80% of my day was around her.
Yeah.
You learn about yourself.
That's
and you
it.
realize what the fuck? You have to take action.
No, what you're talking about there, man, is a really important point. What you're talking about there is the power of attention. And this is something David Lynch said, and he got it from Transcendental Meditation, but it was this quote he said, which is, where there is attention, there is activity. And so the idea is like wherever your mind is going, That's the thing that's going to be the most active part in your life. So if you're in a situation where you have a shitty boss, which many people are, and I've met people who've been in this horrific trap, and you're not just being bothered by the boss at work, but when you're off work and with your coworkers having drinks, or you're hanging out with your family, you're talking about, man, listen to what fucking Jack did today. Can you fucking believe this fucking asshole? Now guess what? The boss doesn't just fuck with you at work. You took him into your fucking house. You dragged the son of a bitch into your fucking house. Now he's at the bar with you. Now he's sitting at the bar with you. Every time you talk about some horrible thing he did, you're bringing him to life in that moment. You're focusing your attention on him, and you can't fucking do that. If you want to fight him, if you want to fight the darkness, what you do is put your attention towards great fucking things. Put your attention towards the opposite of what that person represents. To put your attention on that, and there'll be activity in that place. And that activity eventually grow more powerful than whoever it is that's causing you problems in your life. Because we all have it. We all have it. And eventually, that fucking thing will vanish. It won't even be there anymore.
Something happened a few weeks ago that happened in our community. And again, there's the advantages of looking behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And how I could advise people on something like that. A great comic, friend of mine, I love him. I love the show, Dtfh, cracked a rape joke.
Yes.
So a chick gets offended. She goes home. She writes a blog.
Right.
Okay. What in turn happens? What did you do by doing the blog? What did you do? You gave him light. Now he's trending #1.
Yep.
And guess what? You just sold 1 million tickets for him. He's at home laughing. Him and Comedy Central high-fiving.
That's right.
High-fiving. Comedy Central's like, oh, do us a favor in the middle of all this. Can you just do an apology? Yeah, I'll do it. What the fuck? Who gives a fuck? Hey, hold on. Line 1 at CAA. You just sold out the fucking Raleigh auditorium. It's 18,000 tickets.
Yeah.
And all these people were talking. What did it do?
That's it. It fucking...
This fat fuck who went home and got offended, what did she do?
Yeah.
What did she do? She did nothing. She accomplished nothing.
She threw gas on a fire.
She just put another $1 million into Daniel Tosh's pocket. And that applies to everything.
Yeah.
To everything. Every time you people go home and, oh, my God, what do you give a fuck what John Travolta's doing or what? What do you give a fuck? What is wrong with you?
You're just blowing up.
What is wrong with you? You're giving light to a situation.
That's it.
Oh, well, you read a blog about something. This guy, who gives a fuck what he did? You're just giving him light.
That's part of waking up, man. That's part of what our species has got to do, man. Because when you realize that that's the main function of the fucking news is to create negative things that the focus of the entire fucking country can turn to, you realize what they're doing is a kind of black magic. What they're doing is like they've got us all fucking hypnotized with their weird, dark, glittery fucking things that they're waving in front of us. The Aurora shooter, and then this person got murdered and fucking blah, blah, blah. And this thing happened here, and everyone's staring at it, rapt, completely focused, just losing all of their happiness, just withering away. And you just start thinking to yourself, well, I might hate my fucking job and I might hate my fucking life, but at least I'm not there. And you go into victim mentality. So yeah, man. And on the small scale, you gotta just, I think the first step is just realize, what are you focusing on the most? Where's your attention going? What are you focusing on the most throughout the day? You don't even try to change it. Just today, for the rest of the day, look at what you're thinking about. Where's your thoughts going? Where are your thoughts going? Are your thoughts going to like where you want to be? Or are your thoughts going to like where you'd like to see yourself or how you'd like your life to be or what you'd like your body to look like or who you'd like to have, whose sweet, delicious pussy you'd like to have your face buried in? Or is your attention going to the fucking Aurora City shooter, weapons, fucking your shit boss, or some worry that you have about your future? And just know that that's fucking the thing that's going to become the most active in your life. If you really want to fucking do something great to the world, my sweet friends, send your focused attention towards the vision of me making sweet love to some beautiful, beautiful fucking darling. Can you guys please do that? I'm horny.
I hate funerals because funerals give you a look into life. You go to a funeral, there's 30 people crying. Duncan was great. Joey was great. We're going to miss him dearly.
Yeah.
And you get a call 3 months later. How you doing, Joey? Great, man. I really miss Duncan or I miss Tito or whatever the fuck. Then 6 months later, you get a call, Doug. And then about 9 months, hey, we're going to do a ceremony, go to church. And then after that, they never talk about it. You know, you look at something like the Colorado massacre, which is horrible.
Yes.
It's going to be hot news until something stupid happens, and then they're forgotten.
Yeah.
So all the stress you made all week and the fake tears and the fake stress and worrying about the guns, this mind fuck, as I call them, because that's all I call these things, a mind fuck. They're only good to the next mind fuck.
Yes.
You know, it's like when my friends call me and they're like, hey, man, how'd you make it on that audition 3 weeks ago? What are you talking about?
Right.
That was 3 weeks ago. That was 3 weeks ago's mind fuck. I had an audition for this. I had 22 auditions since then. You thought that I would still be thinking about that audition.
Right.
I've already conditioned myself to walk into something and walk the fuck out.
Let it go.
And I'm on to the next fucking mind fuck. But that's when I realized that you're wasting your time. You're worrying about something that has nothing to do at the end of the day with you.
Yes.
It really doesn't. At the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck. You know, these people are jumping up and down right now. 6 days from now when something crashes or a boat goes down in Italy.
Yep.
That mind fucking, these people will be forgotten.
That's right. And also the fucking news, the reason they're shifting this news cycle like they are is because they need new fucking content to sell more cars. That's what it all boils down to, man. They're just like, we're not selling, not as many people are watching. Like, we've done about as much as we can. We've gone through every single thing. We've shown we've shown fucking CAT scans of the Aurora killer's asshole. We've done every single thing. We focused on every single variable we can in this massacre. We've made as much money off of this massacre as we possibly can. We're starting to lose viewers because they're tired of the Aurora story. So now let's move on to the fucking lady in Afghanistan who got acid thrown in her face. Let's do that for a few days. That's going to sell some fucking cars. And then some other awful thing's going to happen. And we'll sell cars with that.
It's amazing how our attention span.
Yeah.
It's amazing how fast we could forget about this big tragedy.
Yeah.
4 days later, iPhone releases a new iPhone. That goes to fucking tragedy.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's it.
And it's always broken my heart because I've had friends who died, and I think about them once a week. By thinking of them makes me stronger. You know, fuck, I don't want to go to Hollywood and go to this audition. I look over and I see a picture of them on my wall, and I'm like, they wish they had a fucking audition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I bet they wish they had a fucking audition. I guarantee. Or whatever the fuck it is. I'm going to a Yankee game. I'm going to go to a wedding. So it makes me fucking stronger. So I think about them. And it pisses me off when somebody dies and that's it. Their memory disappeared. But the same thing goes with the news because that's how our thinking is.
Well, yeah.
We're on to the next mind.
They got to keep the fucking entertainment happening. But yeah, man, that's one thing I like about this chant that I do because at the end of the chant, you there's a prayer that you say, and then part of the prayer is that you think about people in your life who've died. And you ring a bell for each of them. And it like keeps my grandmother, my aunt, it keeps them in my mind every single day. I think of like my the happiest memory I have with them. I think that's a good thing to do.
And that's the memories you keep alive.
Yes.
Not this dumb shit because he wrote a blog and he talked about rape. Yeah. You know, I love to honor the people because you've learned from ancestors.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking about on the way up here, my friend's mom died 2 nights ago and the fucking aunt was with him. And she got a heart attack from watching the sister die. How sad. And in my mind, I was driving here this morning. I was thinking about what my buddy's thinking right now. You know, when somebody passes or something horrible happens, an accident or something, when you're there waiting in the emergency room or you're talking to the people as a victim, you're sitting there going, when am I going to wake up from this dream? It was pretty cool, but I got to wake up from this dream.
Yeah.
And then now you're at the wake, now you're at the funeral services, and you're like, oh, this is a great dream. This dream is great. My aunt is in it. My high school sweetheart is in it. She came to the wake. When is this going to end? And it never ends. For a month, you're just in a fucking dream, waiting for this dream to end, you know, and it never ends. And
it's interesting they call it a wake, huh? Like wake up. You know, it's interesting they call it that.
Death has always moved me. Even now, years ago when I got divorced, I had to do a test to see my daughter, and they said I lacked empathy skills. And I was very insulted because I'm the type of person, since I had death happen to me at 15, and it was traumatizing, that I see a death at any age. I always think about what is their family thinking about.
Yes.
I don't think about what they did. I'm like, what is their family going through today, just for that day? And I empathize with them, even though I may not know them. I'm like, I could just imagine,
And the way we handled death here is so fucking dark, man. Like in India, man, when you watch someone getting cremated, I've seen people get cremated, man. I was floating on the fucking Ganges River after having had a nice fucking yogurt drink called a bong lassi, which is like weed mixed in with this fucking yogurt drink. And I'm sitting out in this boat watching a cremation happen as the sun's setting and the flames are rising up off of this fucking body. And people are dancing around it, man. They're fucking dancing. It's not sad. They're not all wearing black suits. They're fucking dancing and chanting. And it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. The energy, literally the energy of this person's life is being transformed at that moment to blend into the rest of the universe. And it's a fucking celebration.
It's a celebration.
It's a celebration because they moved on. They moved past it, man. And there's something really beautiful about that and very civilized about that. Because that's what it is, man. We're all gonna fucking, hey, we're all waiting for the fucking plane to come. Some of us, our tickets are later than others, but we're all in the same fucking airport. That's the important thing people need to realize, man. If somebody's flight came a little early, they're just going to get to Hawaii sooner. That's all, man.
It's true.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's true. It's still sad though because people take up like huge parts of our lives, but it's the reality, but it doesn't have to be the end of the world. It can be something really quite beautiful.
They always are. I mean, I have pictures of all my friends and family that died, and I have them out. I put glasses, I light candles for them still, just to give me that something.
So important, man.
You keep them alive in your memory and in your heart. Duncan, I'm fucked up. The weed, the hash, the steak and eggs, something got me fucking going.
Well, yeah, man. It happened.
We're talking some shit on here. We're going to scare some people.
Yeah.
We got dark man funerals and fucking Noriega.
Yeah, man.
Cupid hookers.
That's what it's, from time to time, that's what it's fucking like, but it's, you just have to fucking remember that you're being fooled, man. It's like the Wizard of Oz. It's like you got to go to the man behind the fucking curtain, man. That's the idea. And the man behind the curtain, it's just it's nothing actually. It's nothing. That's the thing about Mara when the Buddha was meditating, man. This is nothing. It's a projection, if anything. It's not real. And the sooner people realize that, and the sooner you start dropping the fucking heavy bags that the media wants to attach to you, and also the moment you start cutting those fucking cords to the shitty boss and the bad friend or the old relationship, the sooner everything starts coming together, man. That's when the beauty starts. That's when the good things come, That's when the blowjobs come.
Takes time, patience, and you got to believe.
Yeah. Joey Diaz.
The fuck, Duncan?
What the fuck? Cocksucker.
It's a beautiful day to be alive, Duncan.
It's a beautiful day, man. Every day is fucking pretty incredible when you think about it.
It's a fuck anymore. You get up, you eat, you go to the gym, you smoke some dope, you're right. How easy can it be?
Yeah.
You love somebody.
Yeah.
When are you going to get a pet, Duncan?
I need a pet, man.
You need a little chihuahua.
I know. I'm gonna get a cat. Like I travel a bunch, so I've got some shows coming up. But after that, I'm thinking about adopting a couple of cats to let them hang out here because I would love to have some. I love cats.
Have you had cats before?
Oh yeah.
And dogs also.
I have dogs and cats, but I love them both. But like I haven't had a cat in a long time, and they're so fucking cool, man. They're such incredible creatures. I just think I'd want those around.
If it wasn't for my cats, I wouldn't be as together as I was.
Yeah.
And I have to stress that. My cats keep me together. As a comic, I'm alone. My wife works in the daytime.
Right.
And it's amazing. I was just thinking about this. That I've had this one set of cats for 5 years. And when I adopted them, my wife said to me, I have a funny feeling about these motherfuckers. And there was 4 of them. One of them died, and it broke my heart. And we saved one upstairs. Then we gave 2 away, but the lady couldn't take them. So we took the 2 girls. And the one girl we called the Evil. That was her kitten name because she was just evil. She either hiss at you or scratch you. She was her father's cat.
Yeah.
Her father was a bad motherfucker. Today, the cat sits next to me on my computer and just cries and sticks her head out from under me, and I just pet her.
That's the best.
The sister has a collar on. She looks cute as hell lately. She figured out how to get food from me. And I watched them and I realized how they grew. and how they've grown. My 12-year-old cat, Finny, is my best friend in the world.
Yeah.
He's up there. I know his body language. He knows my body language. Whenever I faint from seeing blood or something, he jumps right on me.
Wow.
So they know you. And I got to tell you something, a pet will always enhance your life.
I know.
I can't believe that my cats enhance mine as much as they do. I'm really blown away. I learned, I was petting my cat the other day, and it was weird how I had a cat that when I was doing coke would not come by me. Her name is Sissy. My wife brought her up at the 3-month mark, and when I had coke in my system, she'd be under the bed.
Weird.
When I had it on my mind, she'd be lurking, but she never came to me. She never came. She lived with us for 4 years till I stopped doing blow. Now the cat's my best friend. I pick her up, touch her. Well, while I was doing coke, she wouldn't be around me.
They're so sensitive.
They're my hands. You feel it when you pet a cat, the love in your hands.
Yeah.
Next time you touch an animal, you really have to focus on your hands. They say in yoga, breathe for your hands. And you'll see the difference because they feel the tense. Babies, cats, dogs, they feel all that shit.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how my grip, I have more love in my hands. It sounds gay or stupid.
No, it doesn't.
I have so much love in my hands since I've had these cats. And I don't feel it until I pet them. I really feel them loving me. It's amazing. It's a beautiful thing to have an animal. And I only bring it up. You have a nice place here, but
yes.
just something's missing. And it's not a broad. I don't want you to go out there and get a broad. It's an animal. So no matter what you get, you might get a parrot, a cat, a dog.
I'm not getting a parrot.
Why not?
Because, man, I feel sorry for them. They belong flying around in the trees. I don't want to have a parrot. I think they're also fucking smart. Parrots are so fucking smart, man. They're so intelligent. I would never want to keep one of those in a cage. But cats and dogs, you got it. I mean, also when you adopt an animal, man, these fucking poor things, they're getting executed every night. You know, like I know that like if I have a space here where I could give a life to a creature, a really good life to a creature. I want to do it responsibly.
Creature. It's amazing how I treat my cats. I treat my cats like they were human beings, but I treat all animals.
Oh, let me just say, when I say creature, we're all fucking creatures,
no,
man. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm just teasing you. It's funny how I was thinking about this a while ago, how I treat my cats like human beings. And I was like, wait a second, I treat all animals like they were human beings. Like if I see somebody killing a cat, I would get really upset. A dog,
yes, I
would get very upset. Again, and there's times that you have to, protect yourself or whatever. But it's so weird how I'm amazed by my cats and what the transfusion they've done in my life. They've really transformed me to a better person. I attribute a lot of my shit to my cats.
Yeah, man, I miss those dogs that I lived with so much, man. I remember, like, after adopting Mayor Cutie, which is the Chihuahua, I remember just being like, man, my fucking life is like 30% better now because of this animal.
Something about animals around you, something, especially when you're a certain type of owner, it really enhances you. You feel better about yourself and the animal's happy. When you see the animals, I stop for all animals. If you go in my trunk right now, I got dog food, I got a cat cage, and I got dry food for cats and wet food for cats.
Really?
Yeah, because I always bump into that. And they know I have animals.
Wow.
They know you have animals.
They know
you're a sucker.
They know you
see
see
a sucker.
them.
I'm a sucker. They're like that. Look at that fat fuck. He's ready to give us toys and shit. I see it all the time. I'm a fucking sucker for animals, so they know it. So I'm a pigeon for them.
You're not
and that's fine. I've had a lot of pigeons in my life. You know what I'm saying? So
man.
Sometimes, if I'm going to be a pigeon for anything, I might as well be a pigeon for a fucking animal.
Fuck yeah, man. Absolutely, man. That's something I really love about you, man. Because some people, they don't understand that animals are people. Like, animals are some people just think they're robots. They're like wind-up toys or something. They don't understand that, like, I mean, the idea is that every single living being, they all have the same soul. Every being has the exact same spark inside of them. So, and I believe that, man. I
believe it. I believe there's different. What was the redheaded comic at the Comedy Store? I did a short film with him once. I forget what his name is. He was friends with Kennison and all those guys in the old days, Irish kid. And he talked to me about cats that was brilliant. He was brilliant. It was one of the most brilliant talks, and everything he told me was fucking true.
Yeah.
I brought my last one in, the gray. And she is the most thankful person I've ever met in my life. After a year now, she's finally saying thank you, and she rubs my hands. She puts her head in my chest, and I rub her neck. Not even the cats that I've had since day one do that.
Right.
So when I see that, I'm like, wow, she's being very... They're thankful. They really are thankful.
It's almost selfish if you've got a house and a life where you could be responsible and take care of an animal to not have one, in the sense that you can like really pluck these animals out of like pretty shitty situations that they get in, man. You can, for a cat, man, a cat in the pound, it's like they're gonna fucking gas them.
Well, they always try to get you with those fucking commercials. I just switch them.
Ugh.
You know, those commercials,
Yes.
you get the cat with the flea on its face and all that shit.
Yeah, it sucks.
I can't watch. And I would volunteer for a long time on Sundays. I was volunteering in Hollywood at the cat shelter. I would give away free cats and on Sundays and do the paperwork. And I had to stop.
Why?
It was because it was just too much.
Too much.
I'd bring home 50 a week, and I can't do that.
Yeah, man.
I can't see somebody killing an animal or a dog just for... I understand overpopulation. I'm kind of upset about the pit bull situation in our country.
Yes.
Everybody's got a fucking pit bull. Then they realize it's a fucking animal, and then they want to give them away, and they killing these things.
Yeah.
That's who, instead of gun control, they should make fucking pit bull owners take a GED test.
Yes.
That's what I would fucking do, because
Absolutely.
you just can't have a dog for 6 months and then realize I don't want him anymore.
Yeah.
Once you look at a dog and you do that paperwork, that motherfucker's like you, like herpes.
Yes.
He's with you to the end. Either
Yep.
you go or he goes. You know, either you
That's
go
it.
or he goes. And I know one thing: as I'm dying, when I'm taking my last breath, I'm going to see the people that I love, but I'm also going to worry about my animals. I'm telling you. The reason why I'm going to want to go home, you know, like when they put you in jail or you go to the hospital, like you have cancer, you have to stay. You're like, no. I got to just do one fucking thing.
Yeah.
If I could just go home and hug Superbad and my cats, I would go to heaven, like say to them, like, that would destroy me.
Yeah.
For them not to see me. They're not going to see you. They don't understand. They know the concept of death, but they don't really understand it.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, that's what I think about. When I leave the house every day, I always look at my cats, just in case. Just in case. Because I know as my soul is leaving, I'm going to yearn for my friends, but I'm also going to go, fuck, who's going to take care of my cats like me?
Yeah.
Who's going to give them that love? Who's going to really, be there for them?
Well, it's such a pure connection. It's almost more of a connection than you get with humans with animals. It's so much more
They don't
pure.
want anything from you.
Yeah.
Me and you don't want anything from each other, but in L.A., there's always a fucking by the way.
Yep.
Nobody comes at you straight. After 3 meetings, they're going to go, oh, by the way.
Yep.
Do you think you mind? And you're like, I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when it was coming.
Yeah.
Animals don't want that. They want love. They want one thing.
Love.
Love, warmth, shelter, little food. Don't cost a lot to get a bag of fucking food.
Yep.
Give them half of your ham sandwich. They love it.
Yeah.
I'm a big guy on character. I'm a big guy on fucking doing things when people aren't around to see you.
Yeah.
Anybody could talk about being positive. Anybody could talk about so many things in life, but if you're not doing them, what good is talking about them? I don't want you to hear you talking about being positive. I just want to see it.
Right.
And with animals, you have to do all these little things that nobody sees. And it kind of does something.
That's
it's not
right.
Your kid. It's not your kid. Listen, if my kid pukes, I got to pick it up.
Sure.
If my kid fucking has a dirty thing in his eye, I have to take it out. With a cat, I don't have to do anything. Everything I do, when I go to Ralph's because I forgot cat food, when I'm coming home after doing 2 shows in San Diego, and I'm driving home, and all of a sudden I remember I got to stop and get cats a cat food, and you stop right there, you're doing something.
That's right.
The normal person go, fuck those cats. I'll wake up in the fucking morning.
Yeah, you're right, man. It gives you a chance to give. It gives you a chance to give selflessly in your life.
Bro, everything you do without a purpose is what really gets you to the ultimate goal of happiness. Everything you do without a purpose. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything you do without a purpose. Everything you do because you want to do. Not because he's going to pay me $80. We were talking about the concept of work before.
Yeah.
Brick house. When I get up in the morning and I answer people on Twitter and I write stupid shit, it's not a job for me. I want to do it. They're my audience.
Sure.
They're expecting something from me, and I'm expecting something from them. And some days it clicks, and some days it doesn't. Most comics are sleeping at 6 in the morning. I don't give a fuck what most comics are doing. I know what I'm doing. When we do stand-up, how many times have we done stand-up and they've paid us great money?
Yeah.
Other times we don't get paid anything. We come home with a greater value in our heart.
That's true.
How many gigs have they paid you for, and they're fucking horrendous? Horrendous gigs. That you look at the check and go, I'll never come here again even with a check.
Sure.
How many gigs do you drive an hour to for free? and it gives you more satisfaction than anything you've had in your life.
That's true, man. There's like moments when there's been moments like some of the funniest shit. Like I've actually gotten like I did this ridiculous thing. You were in it. Galaxy Cabin.
Yes,
Remember Galaxy
tremendous,
Cabin where you played the fisherman?
People still fucking find it and email it to me from time to time.
What that came from was me and my friend Brian Jarvis and my friend Jay Rogers had watched some old stupid 70s like action thing. It was so dumb. I can't remember what it was. And we're like, you know what? Let's just go see if we can. I mean, the technology they had back then, we should be able to reproduce a shitty intro to a dumbass show. That was it. We went one afternoon to shoot this dumb fucking thing. It was really, really dumb, but that was part of the fun. There was no us sitting around like, oh yeah, we're going to turn this into a show and we're going to cut up the pie. We just went and fucking did it. And then that ended up being like the first TV thing I ever did. And it came just from, let's have fun. From nothing else, man. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean, man. That is the mind state to get into. That is the mind state.
You think so, huh, cocksucker?
If you can live there, if you can stay there. You can't stay there all the time, though. But yeah, that is it, man. That is it. Joey Diaz.
Duncan Trussell, you're a legend.
You're the legend.
I sit here sometimes, like I told you on my podcast, with you, I don't know if I'm too high or not high enough. Because you're so intelligent and you're warm. You get me going. I'm happy about doing the podcast today. Thank you for fucking bringing me out.
Are you kidding, man?
Bad motherfucker.
You're the baddest motherfucker.
You're wise, you're young, and you got a lot going for you, and I wish you all the love in the world. You're my brother. And I tell you, I didn't see you for a while. I told my wife this morning, I go, ever since he's been back in my life, I'm more enhanced. I got somebody to call again. That's on my
I
level.
feel the same
you're
way,
spiritual,
man.
You really got it going on, so...
Yeah,
thank
man.
You for having
I'm
me
so
on
happy you
bad
exist in this
motherfucker.
universe, man. You're an incredible human being,
So
Joey.
are you, kiddo. I love you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
This is a song called At Break of Day by Bonnie Prince Billy from his awesome album, Ease Down the Road. Go buy it. I love you guys. Bye.